cheers from the Spain supporters here as pyrotechnics, fireworks and flames shoots into the air at the conclusion of the Spanish national anthem as the two sets of players go through their pre-match handshakes. If you're just joining us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, let's give you a recap of the team news. Alessia Russo returns for England as they make 4 changes from their 6-0 thrashing of Portugal on Friday. Georgia Stanway and Alex Greenwood make their first Lionesses starts of this calendar year after injury. And Niamh Charles also comes in. Aggie Beever-Jones, who bagged a hat-trick at Wembley on Friday, drops to the bench, as do Esme Morgan and Jess Carter. Grace Clinton is suspended. She's the other change. In terms of Spain, just one change for them from their 5-1 victory over Belgium. Salma Barriuelo replaces her Barcelona teammate Claudia Pina. So, big game for England here, big game for Northern Ireland in League B in the Women's Nations League. They are away to Bosnia and Herzegovina and they still have hopes of winning a promotion playoff very much in their own hands. Michael Clark is across this one for us.
Good evening. Yes, a huge night in Zenica for Northern Ireland, and if Northern Ireland avoid defeat, they will take a big step closer to promotion by sealing second place and their spot in the promotion playoffs. However, defeat would see Tanya Oxtoby's team slip to third in the group and would mean relegation playoffs instead. For any Northern Ireland fans looking for an omen, the Green and White Army have come out on top in their last 3 meetings against Bosnia and Herzegovina in the last year or so, including that dramatic Simone McGill-inspired stoppage time success in Larne back in February. The visitors have made 3 changes from Friday's heavy defeat against group winners Poland. Rachel Dugdale, Danielle Maxwell and Lauren Wade, earning her 75th cap, all get the nod in a very warm Zenica.
Michael will be keeping us right up to date here on 5 Live throughout the evening for that huge game for Northern Ireland. Wales are in action against Italy later. That's a 6:30 kickoff, and the Netherlands host Scotland at 7:30. But here in Barcelona, this is all about England's Lionesses. It will be England to get us underway in their new kit that they debuted at Wembley on Friday. Jess Park stands over the ball, the white shirts with the blue stripe fading to the red stripe, fading to the white, which takes up most of that shirt as the players take the knee at the start of this match. The message against racism still clear. The blue shorts for England and the white socks complete that kit. Spain all in their home kits. The all red with the gold trim, the diagonal slashes on the edges of those shorts. Well, Lindsay Johnson alongside me. My word, are we looking forward to this. And it's worth remembering, of course, that England have already beaten Spain, the reigning world champions, as Jess Park gets us underway here in Barcelona. They've already beaten them in the Women's Nations League this campaign. Brilliant performance at Wembley back in February to win by 1-0. It's going to be fascinating to see how these two match up.
Yeah, I think we're in for a real exciting game tonight. Both teams will want to win this group, and both teams have a point to prove to each other.
As England in possession outside their own penalty area. Here is Alex Greenwood. We'll take you through the full lineups in a moment, but great to see the likes of Greenwood and Georgia Stanway and Lauren Hemp all starting today after lengthy absences in this second part of the season with knee injuries, as Spain intercepts that ball forward for England and Patrick Guijarro picks it up in the centre of the field. Another who plays their club football in this city, like the 2-time Ballon d'Or winner Aitana Bonmati, who's just played a lovely pass out to the left-hand side. Here comes Spain, ball delivered in, it's cleared away by Williamson. They're appealing for a handball, it's not going to be given as Lucy Bronze eases away from Olga Carmona, who scored the winner in that World Cup final against England a couple of years ago that saw Spain become world champions for the very first time, as Spain have the throw over on the far side, 0-0.
Yeah, it's a good move from Spain on that left-hand side, and we're used to Olga Carmona getting forward, exploiting that space on the left-hand side. It's something Lucy Bronze will have to keep an eye on when she's getting forward.
And here goes Esther Gonzalez in brilliant form at the moment for Spain, looking to score for her country for the 6th game running. Spain pick up the ball again on the left-hand side as Carmona fizzes it forward. A bit of defending for Lucy Bronze to do here, and she stands up well, just slows the pace of that Spain attack as they play the ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Williamson. Not the best clearance. Comes out to Bonmati, edge of the D, but a loose touch from the 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, the current holder as well. and picked up once more by Spain. And this is something that we expect, as with the men's side. Spain are a side that like to have a lot of possession, but that's something England managed to just wrest the ball away from them a little bit more than they expected at Wembley, and I think they were stung by that. You could tell in their pre-match press conference that's something they're focusing on, as Lucy Bronze won't prevent that corner, and Spain win the set piece over on the far side. This is a good start from the reigning world champions. 2.5 minutes gone, 0-0 with England.
As expected, high pressure from the Spanish side in these opening minutes, and they're playing a really high press as well. England in that low block to begin with. Got to defend this corner.
So Salma Paralluelo, another of Barcelona, of course, had such disappointment in the Champions League final against Arsenal last month. That surprise defeat, quite brilliant performance by Arsenal as Paralluelo sends the ball in, and England haven't cleared it. That's a brilliant save by Hannah Hampton. The snapshot on the edge of the 6-yard box. What a stop from Hannah Hampton, and it's cleared away by England on the goal line. And they try and break down this left-hand side with Alessia Russo. Still haven't had time to take you through the teams. We will do that in a moment. But my word, Hannah Hampton, a woman who has very much been the centre of scrutiny as England win a free kick midway inside their own half lately, with the shock retirement of Mary Earps last week. You know, Lindsay, we didn't have a chance to talk about her at all against Portugal at Wembley because she had nothing to do. But there, she's made an absolutely brilliant stop, Hannah Hampton.
Fantastic reaction save. It was actually going to her right-hand side, and she was able to get down low with her left hand, with a strong left hand as well, that moved it away from goal. Really good save by Hannah Hampton.
Well, you think she would be busier tonight as Spain play the ball into the area, their own area. Slightly risky, that back pass. And Alessia Russo can't latch onto it. Jess Park gets a foot onto the clearance, and it's picked up by Spain once more. And they have it just outside their own penalty area. So let's take you through the lineups. England with Hampton in goal, who's already made that big save. The back four of Bronze, Williamson, Greenwood and Charles. Ahead of them it's Stanway, Walsh and Park, with Mead and Hemp supporting Alessia Russo up top. Spain still in possession, just inside their own half. So Coy in goal for them. Barcelona and Spain number one. Back four of Badge, Paredes, Alexandri of Manchester City and Carmona. And it's the Barcelona trio in midfield. Bonmati, Guijarro and Putellas, with Caldente and Paralluelo supporting the informed Esther Gonzalez up front as England win possession and have the ball just outside their own penalty area. 5 minutes gone here in Barcelona on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and we're goalless in a game that England have to win if they want to win this Nations League group and progress to the Nations League finals, and also importantly ensure they're one of the top seeds for World Cup qualifying for the 2027 edition. And with England still in possession, Lindsay Johnson, former England defender, with us this evening. The fact that, you know, England have already beaten Spain in this competition, but as Paredes, the captain, takes a loose touch and England have a throw deep in Spain territory, they didn't have Putellas and they didn't have Guijarro, two key players in that three-woman midfield, and I think that would make a difference for Spain tonight. But England's enjoying a little bit of possession out on this right-hand side. Here is Lucy Bronze, interchanges passes with Beth Mead and pulls it all the way back to Leah Williamson, who will square it to Greenwood. Now Walsh forward, former Barcelona player, not Barcelona's stadium. This is the home of Espanyol, but certainly familiar with the city, as is Lucy Bronze. There's a couple of ricochets, take the ball all the way through to Kata Coy. Let's get an update from the cricket. Ellie Oldroyd.
And the West Indies innings is over, 251 for 9. So England might have a little bit of a job on their hands to chase down 252 in a game reduced to 40 overs aside, remember. And the highlight really for West Indies, a partnership of 91, record-breaking partnership for the 8th wicket between Alzari Joseph and Gudakesh Moti, who made 63 earlier, 70 from Shafane Rutherford. Terrific innings by him as well.
Well, that's a mistake from Williamson, and it's chipped in by Esther Gonzalez. How she missed that? What a chance. Well, we said she's in brilliant form at the moment. She's scored 7 goals in her last 5 games for Spain. She's top scorer for them in the Nations League this campaign. Real error from the captain, Leah Williamson. Gonzalez breaking into the penalty area and scooping that shot horrifically wide.
Yeah, it's a poor defending from Willie Williamson. What you get with Gonzalez is she's a willing runner. She's happy to do that high press. She was aggressive, and I think Leah Williamson knew she was on her back shoulder. Poor back pass, but England recovered well.
And they're coming down the left-hand side, England, but Lauren Hemp won't reach that ball. It's well covered by On a bad day, the former Manchester United defender, and Spain pick it up once more. But uncharacteristic of recent weeks from Leah Williamson. I mean, over the last year or so, there have been ups and downs in her performance, particularly for the Lionesses, and a few individual errors, but she put in one of the best performances of her career in the Champions League final. Was very composed against Portugal, but yeah, a bit of a slip there, and England really got away with one as Putellas brings it forward for Spain and wins the corner over on the far side.
Yeah, and you can see that Spain are just trying to overload on that left-hand side, really, with Olga Carmona coming up on that overlap, putting over numbers on that left-hand side with Putellas as well. And they're linking up really well at the moment.
And they have a corner, which will be taken once again by Salma Pariuelo. Sure, many Barcelona fans in the stands here, and to cheer on in particular those Barcelona players, and Pariuelo is one of them. Whips it in right-footed. It's well cleared away by Georgia Stanway. Good header, takes it straight out of the penalty area, only as far as Bonmati. Plays it forward to her fellow two-time Ballon d'Or winner, Alexia Putellas. Oh, lovely little dink from Putellas, looking for Bonmati. Russo's back there, clears away, and then Carmona hits it, gets a deflection. It's another Spain corner. This is relentless pressure at the moment from the reigning world champions.
Yeah, it is, but it's really good defending from Russo, and I think that's what we've seen in her game this season. Obviously, she offers that offensive ability going forward, but she's so good defensively at the moment, recovering and helping her teammates back. Really watched Bonmati well to make sure she couldn't get on the end of that from Putellas.
So another chance for Pariuelo to send this corner in from the left-hand side for Spain. It's chipped in, met well by England. Niamh Charles this time. Played forward by Olga Carmona, back to Pariuelo, delivers the cross in, goes past everybody, might have spun out of play as well, not flagged by the assistant on this near side. England aren't too happy with that. They do have it with Alessia Russo, lays it off to Alex Greenwood, who fires it into the block of Irene Paredes, who'd stayed up from the corner, the Spain captain, and it goes behind for an England goal kick. Lindsay Johnson.
Yeah, and at the moment England are just struggling to gain any sort of possession of the ball. Spain playing such a high line, Gonzalez really leading that well. You can see the three plays, Pariuelo playing high with Gonzalez and Caldente, really pushing that England defence back.
So Hannah Hampton has already made a big save in this game, then sends the ball straight out of play. I'm not sure that's quite the commentator's curse, because it is true, she has already made a big save in this game, but that wasn't the best distribution. What were your reactions, Lindsay, as a former Lioness, when you heard the news about Mary Earps' surprise retirement as Spain make a mess of that throw, and it's England's on the halfway line?
Yeah, Vicky, I was surprised. Obviously the timing is not ideal for the squad, but obviously Mary has her reasons for retiring from this England squad, and you know, we're going to miss her experience, her leadership in the dressing room, leadership on the pitch. So it was surprising, the timing, and she will be missed. She's been a fantastic player for England, and she's going to leave a long legacy with regards to goalkeeping in this country.
Spain in possession on the left-hand side. In that shaded area of the pitch, there's just a slight slice of sunshine right down the middle of the pitch here at the RCDE Stadium, home of Espanyol in Barcelona. It is the first time that Spain women have played in Barcelona as the flag is up. And Hannah Hampton makes the save anyway, as Aitana Bonmati penalised for offside. And this is in fact the venue where England's men will travel on Saturday to face Andorra. 5 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. And that men's World Cup qualifier will have full commentary for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Alex Greenwood plays it to Alessia Russo, dropping deep. Now spins out to this left-hand side, and Lauren Hemp, who's head down, driving away from Pariuelo. Good run by Hemp, cuts it back to Russo. Again has dropped back to link-up play. England's number 9 as Kira Walsh plays it forward to Lauren Hemp. Little challenge from Paredes, just got a toe on the ball, but Hemp retains possession. Plays it forward to Niamh Charles. That's a really good ball if Charles can reach it, and yes she can. Cuts it back, but the flag's up. Pariuelo intercepted, but I think Russo knew that Charles had been flagged offside, and Spain have a free kick inside their own penalty area. It's goalless, 11.5 minutes gone. Remember, England need to win this game if they're to top the Nations League group and qualify for the finals ahead of Spain.
Much better from England. It's nice to see Hemp on the ball. She's not really been involved in these first 10-12 minutes so far, so really good with the ball at her feet. And I think as well the Spanish players know she's a threat and will back off from her, so the more we can get Hemp on the ball, the better it is for England.
Yeah, she looked like she'd never been away when she started against Portugal at Wembley. Really good performance, and from the Lionesses as well. And as Spain pick up that ball with Bonmati, particularly from Aggie Beaver-Jones, getting a hat-trick at Wembley, only the second woman to score a hat-trick at Wembley for England after Beth Mead. On the bench today as Spain bring the ball down the left-hand side. Carmona will chop it back to Laia Alexandri in the bright yellow boots. As Spain work it again down the left, the delivery in, looking for Pariuelo. It's over her head, but comes to Badge, feeds Pariuelo, lays it off looking for Bonmati. England can't get it clear, it's Gonzalez, and Hampton comes out and claims that ball for England. The touch just took it away from Esther Gonzalez, but again, it's not the most convincing defending from England, although it was good goalkeeping.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was really good goalkeeping from Hannah Hampton. She snuffed out any chance from Gonzalez. But you're right, at the moment, we're not clearing our lines. We're afraid to put our foot through it at the moment. I know we like to play out. I know it's the way that football's played at the moment. But at times, when you're under this much pressure from the world champions, there's a time when you just got to miss that press out and go long.
Hannah Hampton in possession for England, all in green. Well, it has been an issue for England during this Nations League campaign, and in truth more widely. Sometimes they play brilliantly, and then often they follow it up with a poor performance, as Niamh Charles won't reach that ball from Alex Greenwood. You know, they poor-ish performance against Portugal in the opener, drew 1-1, then great performance at Wembley to beat Spain. Then they absolutely thumped Belgium 5-0 and then went and lost 3-2 to Belgium in a really poor performance, were 3-0 down after 29 minutes. Then were brilliant against Portugal at Wembley on Friday as Spain pick it up with Casacoy, their goalkeeper, just outside their own penalty area, and actually finding a bit of momentum and consistency ahead of what is such a difficult group at the Euros with France and the Netherlands, not to mention Wales as well. Finding that momentum and consistency is so key, and that's why, amongst many elements of why this game is important, performance is certainly a key one, as Greenwood has it for England halfway through their own half.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think what we've had, the consistency we've had is a lack of consistency in performances, like you've highlighted, Vicky. And I think as well, England have had a lot of players out who are coming back into the fold, who are coming back tonight, the likes of Alex Greenwood, Hemp, Georgia Stanway, who do need to start, because in my opinion they will most likely be starters come the Euros. So they do need to start. We need to give them a little bit of time to gel and get back into that momentum with one another. But you're playing against the world champions, and you've got to be on your best.
Here comes Spain down this left-hand side. Good ball infield to Bonmati. Midway through the England half. Central position. We'll be heading for an update from Northern Ireland's game against Bosnia and Herzegovina in a moment. But Spain coming forward as they square it to Patrick Guiaro. Again, that Barcelona trio in midfield really ticking all the way back to Alexandria on halfway. So let's get an update from Northern Ireland's game. Michael Clark.
It is still scoreless here as we approach 15 minutes, but Northern Ireland starting to come into life, and a really good opportunity moments ago. Wade on the left-hand side crossing into Simone McGill, and Northern Ireland actually looking to go one better here in the centre of the box. Simone McGill stretching, just couldn't make contact with it, but she was involved in a brilliant move on the 11th minute, finding Maxwell on the right-hand side, and her low cross couldn't meet the stretching slide of Wade. But since then, Northern Ireland have really started to find joy, Vicky, and they're in the box again with McGill, so bear with me. It's a really lively couple of minutes here as Maxwell hangs one to the far post but puts just too much on it. So Northern Ireland starting to threaten, but yet to find the goal. Scoreless, 15 played.
Thanks very much, Michael. Here it is the same score between Spain and England, 0-0 in Barcelona on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as England win possession midway through their own half, and Lucy Bronze takes a touch and steers it back to Leah Williamson. Plays it forward now to Georgia Stanway, and Bronze once again, but again Spain's press is high, the red shirts putting the pressure on England. Lucy Bronze, who's played with so many of these players at club level during a very successful spell with Barcelona, just using all of that game experience, calmly passing it back to Hannah Hampton, and forward now to Alex Greenwood, Lindsay Johnson.
And what Spain are doing, and what they always do, we're used to this, is playing those fullbacks nice and high. We can see now that Hemp's now exploiting that, where Batje's come up high and there's space in that left-hand side for Hemp to get forward.
Doesn't quite work out on that occasion for England, but as Lindsay says, it's good movement from Hemp, just seeing that little space that Spain's fullbacks are leaving as Esther Gonzalez comes back to help out, and he's then fouled by Lauren Hemp. A judge is our referee from Hungary, Katalin Kuchar, and it's a free kick to Spain midway through their own half on the right-hand side. If you were Serena Wiegman looking at this game in context, Lindsay. What would you see as most important? Would it be qualifying for the Nations League finals? Would it be being one of the top seeds for the World Cup qualifiers? Would it be this momentum building before the Euros, or a final chance to look at players before naming the squad on Thursday?
It's difficult because all of those things are important for England going forward, and I think to be seeded for the World Cup is really important. We've seen that, you know, the issues that we've got and the group that we're going to face in the Euros as well. It's a really tough group with France and the Netherlands. So I think to be seeded is really important.
Here comes Spain down the left-hand side. Ball in is chipped away by Williamson, unorthodox and not quite convincing again from the England captain. Comes to Parayuelo, just inside the penalty area, now forced outside the box, goes for the left-footed curler, looking for the top corner, and instead finds the fans behind the goal.
I just think in transition as well, the Spanish side is so quick in transition, and England just look a little bit sluggish to defensively get back into their defensive position, I think they just look a little bit sluggish.
Here is Hannah Hampton as Alex Greenwood takes that goal kick short. What is that down to? I mean, it's a very warm evening here in Barcelona, but these are players that, you know, are used to playing in all sorts of temperatures, but you wouldn't expect it to come into play this early on in the game. Is it nerves? Is it concentration? As Lucy Bronze's ball forward is well cut out by Olga Carmona, looking for Alessia Russo.
I think at the moment we can see that Spain are pushing really high. Their fullbacks are both bombing on, Mbache and Carmona, which is then pushing our players back. So Lucy Bronze, Niamh Charles don't have that opportunity to push forward a little bit. So I think they're just pushing us back with that high press.
Parayuelo wins a throw right in front of her manager, Montse Tomé. He's been in charge since September 2023 after Jorge Vilda was sacked following the fallout from the World Cup after Luis Rubiales, the former president of the Spanish Football Federation, kissing Jenny Hermoso. He was fined in February for that. He is appealing that decision. Spain win a free kick just inside the England half. 0-0 here, 19 minutes gone on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. As Laia Alexandri of Manchester City plays it out to the left-hand side, and Olga Carmona picked up once more by Spain, and in field now to Guijarro. They really are moving the ball nicely, Spain, as they continue to build down that left-hand side. Guijarro has it once more. She goes down the left, well marshalled by the white shirts of the Lionesses, but they're dropping deep, trying to withstand the waves and waves of red-shirted pressure as Spain played into the area with Guijarro. It's laid off once more. Alexandri will pick it up. Every single player is so deep inside the England half, bar the Spain goalkeeper Katakoy. He stands in the middle of her own half, all in lemon yellow, watching as Spain push and probe and swing the ball into the area. A couple of ricochets again, hacked away eventually by Kira Walsh. Spain will pick it up over on the far side. In field now to Patrick Guijarro. Lexi Puteas is making the run in the penalty area, now comes outside the box and does pick up the ball. She's got 3 white shirts on her. Puteas drives in low. Leah Williamson blocks it away for England, but they're really under pressure here as Williamson plays it out to the right-hand side, and Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, at the moment, England are just penned in on their own 18-yard box. They're really deep, and the Spanish players are so high. Their defenders, their 2 centre-backs, Alexandri and Paredes, are playing way into England's half. England need to get the ball and move it up the pitch.
Georgia Stanway fizzes the ball all the way back to Hannah Hampton. Out to the left-hand side she goes, and Alex Greenwood, as they move it up to the halfway line. Lauren Hemp loses possession though for England, and it's picked up once more by Guijarro. A reminder, a draw isn't good enough for England to win this Nations League group. They will finish in the top 2, and that was important. It means they'll stay in League A for the World Cup qualifiers. They secured that with the 6-0 victory over Portugal. Now Spain won a free kick, it's not been given, and here goes Alessia Russo in behind. This could be the opener for England. Here it's Russo. It is the opener for England. Spain are furious. They feel there was a free kick in the build-up, but it doesn't matter. There's no VAR. The goal's going to stand, and it's Russo back in the side after that minor calf injury. What a clinical finish. And after soaking up all of that Spanish pressure, it's the Lionesses who hit the front. 1-0.
Fantastic finish from Russo. It's Niamh Charles on Parayuelo. That's what Spain aren't happy about. To be honest, it does look like a foul. However, England reacted quickly, and there's a great ball into Russo, who takes it. Her first touch is across the Spanish defender, Paredes, and that's so important. Then she puts it onto her right foot. She finishes it far corner. It's a fantastic finish from Russo, world class.
Well, Spain's players are getting ready to kick off. There were a lot of complaints there from the Spanish side as we see another replay of this. Is there too much in that? The contact from Charles, I mean, Spain feel that there is, but you've got to play to the whistle. They didn't stop, they didn't give up, but they do feel that that was a foul. But I don't know, we've seen it again, Lindsay. How much contact do we think there is? Might need to see another couple of angles, but it's a brilliant finish from Russo.
It's a fantastic finish, and if that was an English player going out, I'd certainly be saying that's a foul. I do think Niamh Charles takes Paruelo's back foot. However, Kira Walsh's pass into Russo through the back line is sublime, and Russo's finish is just fantastic.
And on her 50th cap for England, she gets her 22nd goal for the Lionesses. It's quite a scoring ratio as England clear away. Ball goes out of play for a Spain throw. Midway through the first half then with that Russo goal, England are topping the group and qualifying for the Nations League finals. But will Spain be stung into action? Here is Paruelo. Has it taken off her toes by Lauren Hemp. Brilliant defensive work from Hemp, who clears away for a throw.
And that brings another facet to this England side. They've had most of the game without possession of the ball. Spain have been relentless in attack. We've hardly been out of our half. One opportunity and Russo takes it.
Oh, goal in the big game involving Northern Ireland away to Bosnia and Herzegovina. They're trying to secure a promotion playoff for League B to get into League A. Michael Clark.
And it's good news for Northern Ireland. 23 minutes gone, they lead 1-0. Simone McGill bursting through into the penalty area after a precision pass from Rebecca Holloway, and she pokes it right-footed through the keeper's legs. Northern Ireland 1-0 up away to Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Thanks very much, Michael. Yep, a win or a draw would do it for Northern Ireland and secure that promotion playoff as they look to get into League A. Wales and Scotland both in action later. Both have already been relegated from League A before these final fixtures. So plenty at stake though still for Northern Ireland and here for England's Lionesses. They lead 1-0 in Barcelona on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Spain bring the ball down the left-hand side. Guiaro, that's a good ball as they look to build once more. Cut in, oh, Niamh Charles, that was a skewed clearance. It's claimed by Hannah Hampton. Now the Spanish fans are screaming for a back pass. That's never a back pass from Niamh Charles. That's one of those, Lindsay Johnson, former England defender, that you shank, it flies off your shin and you think, I hope that doesn't nestle in the bottom corner. There's no way she meant that to get anywhere near Hannah Hampton.
No, not a chance did she mean that as a back pass. It's just a deflected pass. She tries to get in the way of the ball, tries to defend it, and it ricochets off to the keeper. But it's really got this Spanish crowd going, hasn't it?
Yeah, they're all waving their arms, they're all hitting their hands. But to be fair, I mean, a couple of Spanish players appealed half-heartedly. Oh, I tell you what, actually, do you know what? We thought that had come off her shin there.
Yeah.
But it's actually come off her arm, and that, I tell you what, those fans behind the goal have had a better view than we have there before seeing that replay. She's really lucky there, Niamh Charles. I mean, she is stretching, but the arm is so far away from the body, and I'm surprised there weren't more appeals from the Spanish players there. The thing is, she's raising her leg at the same time, but my word, as England could be in behind again. Katakoi's out. Well, I take it back. Those Spanish fans were absolutely spot on, and we don't have VAR. So there's nothing that can be done about it. So that's 2 decisions that Spain will feel have gone against them. Foul in the build-up for the goal that Russo has scored that means that England lead by 1-0. And then Niamh Charles, very lucky there to get away with that outstretched arm. I mean, it's not intentional, but it's that making your body bigger that would be penalised in the modern game as well. Matty drives off target.
Yeah, it's an unnatural position. As she's gone, as you say, she's driven with that right knee, and at the same time her right arm has come out and it's just hit that right arm. Referees missed it. Great for England, but you know, if you're Spain, you're so disappointed and frustrated.
They will be absolutely fuming, Spain, with those big decisions that have gone against them in this first half. England riding their luck a bit in terms of the refereeing choices, but nothing they can do about that. And as we say, the finish from Russo was so good, so clinical. And that is the difference between the sides at the moment. And it has England topping the Nations League group. They go through to the Nations League finals if they win. And they would also be one of the top seeds for World Cup qualifying. which is absolutely huge, because when it gets to those World Cup qualifiers in League A, only the winners of each group go through. And Lucy Bronze was talking about this as England have possession just inside their own half. Because they've been second seeds for so long in these Nations League and qualifying campaigns, they end up in really tough groups like this one. Charles' delivery into the area, it's cleared away at the back by Laia Alexandri. That was a really good ball from Niamh Charles. Salma Pariuelo loses out, and this time the whistle does go, and it's a free kick to Spain midway through their own half. Penalised was Lauren Hemp.
England are really starting to come into the game now. That was a fantastic pass from Alex Greenwood with the outside of her left foot to play Niamh Charles in. And like you say, Vicky, a really good whipped-in delivery by Niamh Charles into the box.
Here comes Spain once more. It's Alexia Putellas, well charged down by Beth Mead, who's been pretty quiet so far, but good defensive work from the woman who provided that key assist for Arsenal in the Champions League final that got the better of so many of these Barcelona players that are turning out for Spain today. England win the ball back. Here's Mead again. Plays it to Lucy Bronze. It's only Rousseau up there. Bronze ran into trouble in the shape of Alexandri. Bronze has stayed down there. Let's just see how quickly she gets back up. She doesn't normally stay down for too long, Lucy Bronze, and she is indeed just getting to her knees and back to her feet as England have a throw on the far side. 28 minutes gone. It's England who lead 1-0. Lindsay Johnson.
And I think England as well, they're looking comfortable to play in that low block. They are. They like the distances are small, and they're making it difficult for Spain to play through them. However, when it comes down to clearing the lines, they still do look a little bit suspect at the back.
Well, this time the decision goes against Spain. England have a free kick, and Laia Alexandri has gone into the book for a foul. So England's set piece midway through the Spain half, over on the right-hand side. And Alexandri, I mean, she's a pretty vocal player anyway, but she's certainly fuming at some of the decisions that are going against Spain in this first half as Beth Mead looks on Riley.
Be interesting to see who takes this. We've got Beth Mead over there. And is that Lauren Hemp?
Looks like Lauren Hemp as well, over on the far side. From our position high in the stands here at the RCD Stadium, the home of Espanyol. See a replay of that challenge. She's just pulling Beth Mead back there, Laia Alexandri, and I think as much because of the position that Mead was in as well. It's been given as a booking as well as the free kick to England, who lead 1-0. Can they double their advantage as we approach the half hour? It's swung in. Oh, it's a good header by Williamson. The flag stayed down straight into the arms of Katakoi. Well, I say good header. In fact, it's the run, really, that was the thing that beat the Spain defence. And the header in the end straight at Katakoi, but they completely lost Williamson there as Spain come down the other end. England leading by a goal to nil here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Pariuelo does just keep that in, but then she's well dispossessed and it's cleared away out to the left-hand side and will go out of play for a Spain throw. Another goal in the Bosnia and Herzegovina game against Northern Ireland. Michael Clark.
And it's back level in this match. It's now 1-0. Bosnia hit back. Krasimovic with the breakaway goal. A long ball that she collected well. Her first touch brought it under control. Her second took it away from the Northern Ireland defender. Her third touch put it beyond the goalkeeper. 29 played. It's one apiece.
Thanks very much, Michael. A draw would still be enough to secure that promotion player for Northern Ireland, but plenty of twists and turns still to come this evening as England prevent the corner over on that far side and Spain have a throw. Half an hour gone here in Barcelona as Spain look for the equaliser. It's good work down the left-hand side. Pariuelo's in there. Good header away by Niamh Charles. Forward once more by Laia Alexandri, but nobody will reach that in a red and gold shirt. And it's behind for an England goal kick. Lindsay Johnson.
Just to go back to that earlier opportunity, Beth Mead with the whipped-in delivery, and it was a great run by Leah Williamson, and no Spanish player went with her. She'll be disappointed with her execution. She didn't get enough power or direction behind it, and it was an easy one for the goalkeeper to take.
So Hannah Hampton in possession, closed down by Aitana Bonmati, and again Hampton sends it straight out of play. We are seeing defensive nerves here from England, aren't we?
I think so. I think, as I've mentioned before, I think they're comfortable to go into that low block. Their distances between the units are tight, so they feel robust in that regard. But I think their clearances, they're snatching at it. We've seen two goal kicks from Hannah Hampton go out with no pressure on her at the moment as well. So I think that's something Serena will talk about at half-time.
Here goes Pariuelo for Spain. Lovely footwork, the black boots flashing as she feeds Esther Gonzalez. Esther Gonzalez with the curler just over the bar. Well, that was more like it from Spain.
Yeah, really good, fast movement around the box. 1 and 2 touches. Gonzalez, she's so strong. Picks it up on the half turn and gets a shot off. Hannah Hampton had it covered all the way, though. Goes over that crossbar.
32 minutes played in Barcelona here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And it is still England who lead by 1-0 as Hannah Hampton prepares to play this ball out for England. They're just playing out from the back. Once again, England, as Greenwood takes her time and fizzes a lovely ball left-footed out to the right-hand side. And Lindsay Johnson, you're nodding next to me. I mean, Greenwood playing at centre-half. Great to see her back from injury. Millie Bright not available for these couple of games. She was named in the squad but pulled out ahead of the fixtures, saying that she was mentally and physically at her limit, as Kira Walsh plays the ball to the right-hand side, cut out by Carmona. And Carmona's gone down. She wants a free kick. I think the referee's playing advantage. No, she has given the free kick in the end. But, you know, Serena Wiegmann asked about, you know, is Millie Bright going to be back for the Euros, and saying, well, you know, basically Millie needs to take the time that she needs to get ready. Of course, they, you know, would love her to be involved. She's such a big player for England. Still, you know, a month to go until the Euros, and Serena Wiegmann naming the squad on Thursday. I'm sure we'll be having those conversations with Millie Bright. But in terms of Alex Greenwood, I mean, she's such an able deputy, and I think many England fans feel, you know, she's unfortunate to be a deputy, whether it's at centre-half, a more natural position these days, or of course she's played so well at left-back through her career as well, as England played over the halfway line. Flag stays down and Jess Park wins a throw over on the far side.
I think she brings a lot of balance to this England squad. Like you say, whether it's centre-back or left-back, she can play in both positions. I think her strongest position is centre-back, and she offers so much. And I think it's great that as England we've got so many options in those defensive areas.
Yeah, set-piece specialist as well, hits the bar from a super free kick from range against Portugal. As Aitana Bonmati has it on the halfway line. England leading by 1-0. It's 1-1 between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Northern Ireland, a result which would see Northern Ireland secure that promotion playoff in League B as they try and get into League A. The ball goes out of play for an England throw midway through their own half, and Wales have just kicked off in their Women's Nations League game against Italy. Molly Stevens is watching.
They have indeed. 0-0 here at the moment, Vicky, but as you know, a last dance really for Wales ahead of the Euros, and really needing to pick up some momentum going into the tournament off the back of so many defeats now on the bounce, including that one against Denmark on Friday night. But for now, Wales 0, Italy 0.
Thanks very much, Molly. Spain in possession in the sunshine here in Barcelona on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as they ping the ball out to the right-hand side. Badje won't pick that up, and Spain just losing their way a little bit in the last 5 minutes or so, which is good news for England.
Yeah, I think in the last 5 or 6 minutes, England have gathered momentum, had more possession of the ball, and for me, for the first 15 minutes, Guerrero was the one who was dictating play for Spain, and she's really fell away these last 5 or 6 minutes.
So England with the throw, deep in their own territory, leading by 1-0. Alessia Russo scoring on her 50th cap for the Lionesses. Georgia Stanway plays it forward to Beth Mead, who heads it all the way back to Leah Williamson, and Hannah Hampton will collect and bowl it out underarm to Georgia Stanway once again. Hampton picks it up and sprays it out to the left-hand side. That's great distribution. She sent it out of play a couple of times, but that was a really good ball to find Niamh Charles, who's been at the centre of the two controversial refereeing decisions in this game that have both gone against Spain. They felt that Charles fouled Pariuelu in the build-up to Russo's goal, not given. And then, from the replays we saw, Charles very lucky to escape a big penalty shout for handball. No VAR. And so, the referee's decision final benefited England. Spain furious. Here they come down the left-hand side. Lucy Bronze gets the foot in. Ball goes out of play for a Spain throw. Lindsay Johnson.
Beth Mead is doing a lot of work defensively on that left-hand side, with Olga Carmona getting forward, bombing forward so often. She's really working hard defensively to try and block that option off for her, which is taking her out of the game in that offensive position. We want to see her higher up the pitch.
Here goes Guiaro with Spain. Work it down the left once again. Guiaro to Alexia Putellas, looking for Bonmati. Here is Bonmati. Good foot in, but Bonmati steals it back. England making a mess of clearing this. In the end, Williamson plays it away, but again, England are trying to play their way out of trouble, and Kira Walsh, in the end, hoofs it out of play into those Spain fans. She was sliding Walsh, and again, you can see what England are trying to do, play their way out under pressure, but sometimes the pressure is just absolutely relentless as Spain pick it up once more. Paredes is going to have a drive, and that England will be pleased with all day because it's 30 yards, it's a daisy cutter, it hasn't got the pace on it, and Hampton can easily watch it wide, and that is evidence of Spain's growing frustration.
They are getting frustrated, but they're putting that high press on England, and I know I've said this before now, and I say it every time I commentate, sometimes you've just got to put your foot through the ball. There's a time and a place, and overplaying in your 6-yard box, you've just got to put your foot through it.
So England again take this goal kick short. Spain don't really put the pressure on though, and Hannah Hampton drives it away to the right-hand side. Again, good distribution from Hampton. I feel again like I'm forensically analysing everything she's doing, but that is because of the story that we've had with Mary Earps as Katakoi. The Spain number 1 clears away out to the right-hand side, flags up anyway for an offside against England. And it's a fascinating narrative strand as well with Katakoi, and I think this is where it's relevant to Mary Earps, is that Katakoi went into the World Cup in 2023 not having made her senior debut for Spain, didn't play in the group stages. They then put in a shocking defensive performance in their last group stage game against Japan, lost 4-0, and Koi was given a debut in the last 16, played every single minute, including in the World Cup final, which they won against England, and finishes the tournament as number 1 with a World Cup winners' medal around her neck, having played a huge part. And it just goes to show, doesn't it? You never know what's going to happen in a tournament. As England play the ball out to the right-hand side, that's a really good delivery. Lucy Bronze picks it up, approaching the penalty area. Carmona there to defend. Russo getting forward as more white shirts arrive in the shape of Stenway. But Lucy Bronze very happy just to play it back as we have 7 minutes to go until half-time. And England lead by a goal to 0. If they win tonight here in Barcelona, they will win the Nations League group and qualify for the finals, as Bronze fizzes it in. Cleared away by Ona Badje. Brought down beautifully by Stanway on the edge of the area. Lucy Bronze then picks it up, laid off to Kira Walsh. Oh, they want a handball there, England, against Irene Paredes. The appeals are pretty quickly cut short, and seeing as Spain didn't get one on the other end, maybe the referee thought, well, maybe let's just let them off there. It didn't look quite as outstretched as Niamh Charles' arm on first viewing, to say there from Paredes. The Spain bring it forward again. Let's go back to the cricket. Ellie Oldroyd.
And England's reply has begun. A revised target of 246 to beat West Indies in this third and final ODI. Jamie Smith's on 18, Ben Duckett on 2. England 28 without loss, so they're well ahead of the rate at the moment.
Thanks very much, Ellie. As Spain come forward down the left-hand side, England leading by a goal to 0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds with 6 minutes to play until half-time. Spain ping it forward, looking for the run of Pariuelo. It's a good ball, but she can't control it, and it's behind for an England goal kick. There's been a goal in the game between Wales and Italy. Molly Stevens.
Yeah, and it's gone the way of the visitors. Elena Linari has given the Italians the lead at the Swansea.com. Top left-hand corner, Wales 0, Italy 1.
Thank you, Molly. So disappointing start for Wales, that game kicking off at 6:30. As we say, already relegated, as are Scotland from League A. But as Molly mentioned in the build-up to that game kicking off, just key for Wales, Lindsay, to try and get some momentum ahead of the Euros, where they will be in a group with England, Netherlands and France.
Yeah, it's really important that they put in some good performances. Obviously, they want the results, so they need to try and turn that round tonight as well.
Well, they are underdogs in that game against Italy. They'll be underdogs in the group. What a moment it will be for Wales as they make that major tournament bow, as England's leading by a goal to 0 here in Barcelona. String together a nice succession of passes midway through the Spain half, and Kira Walsh, oh, that's a brilliant ball, and Russo could be in behind him again. Our flags up this time. Did look like Lindsay Johnson's waving her hand and going, oh, I'm not sure, possibly was she offside? We'll see in a replay in a moment, but that time the decision goes against Russo.
Yeah, I think she was offside, just marginal, but it just so England are just slowly getting higher up the pitch and winning those 50-50 balls, putting the high pressure back onto this Spanish side. We've just seen the replay there, and you could just see she's just a half a body offside. But really, those runs in behind, you can see Spain are they're wary of that threat from Russo.
Yeah, absolutely. And Spain again losing their way in possession, which is rare for them. Played the ball straight out of play, so England have worked it from the throw back to Hannah Hampton. 4 minutes plus added time to play. Aggie Beaver-Jones sitting on the bench, having got a hat-trick against Portugal. Is Russo still by far your out-and-out number 1 for the Euros, Lindsay?
Yeah, she is. In a nutshell,
I say number 1,
she is.
number 9. You know, number first choice starting
I would start it, yes, for sure. But Beaver-Jones, you know, you've got someone who's in form, who can score goals, who's creative, can play across the front three, also in the 10. So that's great for Serena Wiegmann to have that option off the bench.
Alex Creamer plays it forward. That's a good ball. Here goes Niamh Charles. Body check by Pariuelo, but flags already up for offside against Niamh Charles. Yes, you talk about that option off the bench. It was so key during the Euros that England won in 2022, wasn't it? There was the likes of Alessia Russo, who kept coming off and scoring more goals by a substitute at any single edition of the Euros than ever before in the women's game. And so positive for Beaver Jones. He was Chelsea's top scorer this season as they won the domestic treble in England. To get those goals to her name as the flag goes up on the far side against Oitana Bonmati this time. England and Spain training offsides as we tick towards half-time here in Barcelona. England leading by 1-0. But it is so key, isn't it? Because when you look at that game plan that Serena Wiegmann had for the Euros in 2022, the starting lineup, of course, was key, but the substitution plan just worked to a T as well. And that's maybe what they didn't quite have at the World Cup. Yes, they reached the final and did brilliantly well in doing so, but the performances weren't at the level that they were at the Euros. And to have that sort of performance from Beaver Jones as that ball forward won't reach Lauren Hemp and Onabaje steers it back to Katakoi, the Spain goalkeeper, to have that sort of player in form coming off the bench, it is going to be so key.
Of course, and I think you're right, in the Euros, every substitution that Serena Wiegmann made had an impact in some way, shape or form. And she'll want that again in the Euros, and the likes of Beaver Jones. We don't know her starting 11, but you've got Toon on the bench tonight. You've got Grace Clinton to come back in after suspension, Lauren James from injury. So she's got a plethora of players to come on who can have an impact in that attacking area.
Here comes Spain down the left-hand side. It's Olga Carmona. Now works in field to Alexia Putellas. Spain 0, England 1 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds in the Women's Nations League as Pariuelo picks it up. Nice turn from Bonmati, but she's well bustled off it by her former Barcelona teammate Kira Walsh. And Lauren Hemp under pressure will play it to Niamh Charles, who tries to play it off Badje, but it doesn't have enough to go out for the goal kick, and Badje's picked it up deep in England territory. Now Bonmati into the penalty area. Her cross evades everybody, will be picked up by Carmona outside the box. She's well hassled and harried by Lucy Bronze, goes out of play for a Spain throw.
Really good defending from Lucy Bronze. She got tight to Carmona and didn't let her the opportunity for her to turn and get that cross back into goal.
Here comes Spain once more. The drive from range is allowed to go wide by Hannah Hampton. Guiaro letting fly, so it remains 1-0 to England here as we enter the final minute of normal time in this first half. After the conclusion of this match here in Barcelona, we'll be heading to the French Open Tennis, and Katie Smith will take you through half-time. She's presenting from Roland Garros this evening, so we'll be bringing us up to date with all the events from the French Open so far. And then, as I say, our coverage continues after the conclusion of this game for the Lionesses in the Women's Nations League, a game which they are currently winning, and a victory will see them top the group ahead of Spain, which sees them qualify for the Nations League finals first and foremost in the autumn, but also crucially will mean that they're one of the top seeds when it comes to World Cup qualifying, as England have possession just outside their own penalty area. And as we say, that's absolutely huge. Only the winners of the groups go through straight to the World Cup in those qualifiers, and England have just had so many experiences of being in really, really tough groups with not just one other big seed but potentially two. As we enter 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half, Spain pick up possession from England midway through their own half. Out to the left hand side they go, and Laia Alexandria, that's a lovely ball to find Olga Carmona, heroine for Spain in the World Cup final against England a couple of years ago, scoring the winner. What can she do down the left hand side? Here is Mariona Caldente of Arsenal, barely mentioned her so far. Gets on the ball here, played forward to Carmona, well blocked away by Beth Mead, who then heads the ball out of play, and it will be a throw to Spain. 25 seconds of added time to play in this first half. Can they fashion a final chance? And they look to get the equaliser. It's laid off in the penalty area, but the flick won't quite run through, and it will be behind for an England goal kick, and that will pretty much be that for the first half, you would think, Lindsay Johnson.
And I think Serena will be really happy, obviously, to go in 1-0 up. After they started, they soaked up a lot of pressure, England. They were in a real low block for long periods of that first half, but really they gathered momentum coming into the game, and it was Russo's goal that really fired them up and was the catalyst for England to grow into the game.
So half time here, it is 1-0. The scoreline by which England lead, and I think as well it is a tale of refereeing decisions really in the first half, and Spain absolutely fuming with two key ones, Lindsay.
Yeah, and I think the referee has missed both of those. In my opinion, Parihuela was taken down by Niamh Charles. And then there was a handball which was missed by the referee as well. However, England capitalised, and that's what you've got to do in these situations, and it went in England's favour, and it was the catalyst for England to have the confidence to play higher up the pitch, have more momentum, and obviously go one goal up.
Yes, OK, there probably should have been a foul. Yes, OK, Spain should have had a penalty for that Niamh Charles handball, but the finish from Russo was so clinical. So far, so good in terms of the scoreline for England. They lead Spain here in Barcelona by 1-0, and as it stands, they will win the Nations League group and qualify for the Nations League final. So second half commentary from Barcelona to come, but for now, let's head to Roland Garros and join Katie Smith at the French Open.
Thanks very much, Vicky and Lindsay. A first good evening to you. Yes, you're listening to 5 Live Sport this Tuesday evening, day 10 of the French Open. The quarter-final action well and truly underway. We've got commentary of defending champion Carlos Alcaraz to bring you in the night session a little later. But let's just bounce around a few of the other football matches that we're watching this evening in the Nations League. We're going to go to Bosnia-Herzegovina against Northern Ireland first. Michael Clark.
Where the half-time score is 1 apiece, and it was Northern Ireland that had a lot of chances in the first half of the first half, if you like. 11 minutes into that, on the left-hand side, Lauren Wade with a lovely pass inside to Simone McGill, who has been really impressive so far in the opening 45. She moved it out to Northern Ireland's right. Maxwell's cross just evading the stretching boot of Wade as she slid in at the far post, but Northern Ireland then drawing a save on the 18th minute from Hodzic, were then able to put the ball past her on 23 and find a way in front in this game. Rebecca Holloway with a brilliant ball straight through the heart of the defence. Simone McGill's run into the centre of the box and able to poke right foot it past the keeper. However, Bosnia and Herzegovina able to pull their way back into this game. Krajsimovic on her 30th cap with her 4th goal in her last 6 games makes it honours even at half-time. Remember, avoid defeat, and Northern Ireland are in the promotion playoff place.
Michael, thank you. Wales already relegated from League A. They are in action against Italy this evening. We'll head to the Swansea.com stadium. Molly Stevens there for us.
Yes, evening to you, Katie. Italy 1-0 up at the moment here at Swansea.com, and a similar story for Wales, who go behind early and leave themselves a real uphill battle here. Elena Linari's volley into the top left-hand corner came from an Italian corner, which should really have been dealt with by the Wales keeper and defenders. So there's a pretty flat atmosphere here in these early stages after that early sucker punch. And as you say, already relegated from Nations League Group A, and therefore all eyes on the Euros and needing some confidence to be built here at the Swansea.com tonight. So far though, Wales 0, Italy 1.
And later, the Netherlands host Scotland. That one kicks off at 7:30 for new manager Melissa Andrietta. It's her second game in charge. Scotland already relegated to the Nations League B. They lost to Austria on Friday, so we will check in there a little later on. But England, a goal to the good against the world champions Spain in Barcelona. And if that goal line stands, England will be topping their Nations League group this evening. So plenty more action here from the French Open. Second half commentary to come as well from the England Lionesses match up against Spain. But first, let's get the latest news with Johnny Freeman.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Katie. Good evening. German police and forensic teams have spent the day combing an area of the Algarve in Portugal, close to where 3-year-old Madeleine McCann went missing 18 years ago. They're looking for evidence to connect her disappearance with the prime suspect in the case, Christian Bruckner, who's serving a prison sentence for rape in Germany. Our correspondent Daniel Sanford is in Praia da Luz.
German police have got permission through the European search warrant system from the Portuguese prosecutor to go onto private land, and there seems to be a focus around a disused farmhouse. They've said that they'll be searching today through until Friday.
Next, UN officials are calling for independent investigations into mass shootings of Palestinians. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says 27 people were killed by Israeli forces this morning and dozens more wounded as they tried to collect aid from a site near Rafah. Israel says it opened fire towards suspects who ignored warnings and deviated from agreed routes. The Ukrainian security service says it has attacked the Kerch bridge linking Russia to the occupied Crimean peninsula. It claims agents planted explosives underwater 2 days after drones were used to attack Russian air bases. Moscow has not yet commented, but Russian media have said the bridge has reopened to traffic. The future of Thames Water is in doubt tonight after an American private equity group pulled out of a deal to buy the company. KKR was in advanced negotiations to invest in the firm, which says it will resume talks with other investors. The Environment Secretary Steve Reed has told the Commons the government is prepared for all eventualities.
Thames Water remains stable and the government is carefully monitoring the situation. Customers can be assured there will be no disruption to water supply.
And the Netherlands government has collapsed after the far-right leader Geert Wilders pulled his party out of the coalition because of a row about immigration policies. The Dutch Prime Minister's resigned from his job, meaning snap elections are now likely.
The latest travel news for you, and the M62 travelling east towards the M60 junction 11 at Birchwood to 12 at the Eccles interchange. Severe delays. Now it's because of a broken down lorry which is still there in one of the lanes, and the entry slip road is also closed at junction 11 Birchwood. The A55 North Wales Expressway between 35 and 34 near Ewlow westbound, an accident happened and one of the lanes is closed. The M6 is queuing down from 11 at Cannock to 10A. That's the M54 interchange. You've got one lane closed there for an accident. Warner Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
Welcome to the Tooney and Russo show on BBC Sounds. I am here with two of football's most famous friends, Alessia Russo and Ella Toon.
I know where I'd take you for your Hendy. Benidorm. Benidorm, oh yes. I would like that.
It's Keely Hodgkinson. Welcome to the box.
How long's like your training sessions? Like, what do you do? Just run around? Do you think we're best friends for life? Oh my God.
The Tooney and Russo show with me, Vic Hunt.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Katie Smith.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Great to have your company this evening. 5 Live Sports, second half commentary of Spain against England in the Nations League to come. England leading by a goal to 0. So as it stands, will be topping their Nations League group. It's their penultimate game as well before they head out to the Euros to defend their title. Meanwhile, though, we've had a goal in Swansea. Molly Stevens.
Yeah, not gone the way of Wales either, Katie. This is far too easy for the Italians. Cristiano Girelli, the captain, doubles their lead with a header into the bottom left-hand corner. Wales really lacking any urgency here at the Swansea.com. Not good when the next game you play is at the Euros this summer. Just 23 minutes played here. Wales 0, Italy 2.
And our base is Paris this evening. It is day 10. It is quarter-final stage of the French Open tennis. The Philippe Chatrier court starting to fill up with fans ready to watch the defending champion Carlos Alcaraz in his last 8 match against the American Tommy Paul. So commentary will start over on Sports Extra 3. That is from 7:30, so you can listen in from then. On 5 Live, we will head to Paris once again once the football has finished. Our correspondent Russell Fuller, though, joins us now. You've been across all the action today, Russell, and I think we should start with the two women's quarterfinals that we had earlier today. Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1, in action in an intriguing matchup with the Olympic champion.
And beating Jung Chin-wen 7-6, 6-3 to get a little bit of revenge for losing to the Chinese player for the first time in her career in the quarterfinals of Rome 3 weeks ago. Now, Sabalenka had made it very, very clear to anybody who was prepared to listen that she was very, very tired and was actually quite glad she lost that match to Jung, having won the title in Madrid. She felt she needed a break before Roland Garros. And even though this was a tight match, she continued her supremacy over her opponent with a 7th win in 8 matches, winning the first set on a tie break from a breakdown, helped by 2 consecutive double faults in one game from Jung, and then took the second 6-3. And she definitely has the look of a woman who is eyeing that trophy on Saturday afternoon.
And a lot of tennis fans, Russell, licking their lips because a semi-final between Sabalenka and Swiatek is happening now. So Iga Swiatek, let's talk through her quarter-final. The back-to-back-to-back defending champion coming into this has been in a little bit of ropey form, but you wouldn't know today.
No, this was her best performance of the fortnight when you consider the quality of the opponent, Alina Svitolina, who actually had more clay court wins than anyone else on the tour this year going into the match. It was 6-1, 7-5. There were periods where you could see that Świątek was still struggling with the forehand that has been her weak spot in recent months, but it was, when you look at the whole match, a very good performance, and she is clearly building to her best once again. And for this semi-final to take place between the two players who have been the best two players in the world over the last 2 or 3 years, never mind the fact that Świątek is actually ranked 5 at this particular French Open, is long overdue. They've only played once in a Grand Slam match before at the US Open of 2022, and it's really what the biggest rivalries need. They need the Grand Slam platform to try and bring a wider audience to the contest between the two.
So men's quarterfinals action still to come. Earlier we saw Lorenzo Musetti beating Francis Tiafoe, so another semi-final booked for the Italian. He was in the last 4 at Wimbledon last year. We're going to bring you commentary of Carlos Alcaraz, the defending champion, taking on Tommy Paul. Let's hear what the Spaniard has to say then on his opponent.
Well, I remember that every match that I played against him, it was really tough. It was really difficult. In Grand Slams, in Master 1000, in a lot of tournaments I've played against him, it wasn't easy at all. I lost a lot, a few matches against him as well. So it's and he's in a quarterfinal of another Grand Slam. So it's his level is really high right now. He has a lot of confidence, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be a really interesting match. I will try to just keep going, just trying to be better, to learn from the mistakes that I made today, and not going to make the same, against Tommy. But I think for the people, it's going to be a really interesting match to watch, because every time we play against each other, we rise our level to the top as well. We make really good rallies, good points. So I think it's going to be great to watch as well. So it's going to be a good quarterfinal.
Well, Carlos Alcaraz doing our job there, Russell, and billing this as a good quarterfinal to watch. But actually, I pulled out there one of the quotes from him was some of the mistakes I made. Now, this has been a running theme through the last few of the rounds that Alcaraz has been through, dropping sets, perhaps dropping a bit of concentration along the way.
Briefly, yes, he's dropped 3 sets in 3 matches, but I thought it was an impressive 4-set win over the very dangerous Ben Shelton in the previous round. Tommy Paul has been 2 sets to love down in the second round against Marton Fucsovics. Actually needed 5 sets to beat Karen Khachanov as well, but he's a very, very fit guy. Won Queens last summer. He can play on all surfaces. He does everything very, very well and is not to be underestimated. And even though Alcaraz has won 4 of their meetings, including their only clay meeting in the Olympic Games quarter-final here last summer, then Paul does have a couple of wins under his belt. He is a mad keen fisherman. He's delighted he's in the quarterfinals, but he has also been pining for what he says is prime fish season in South Florida.
And I think we're going to be talking about his truck a little bit later on as well.
The
Russell,
truck that was repossessed because he didn't keep up to date with his payments.
Should we look at his prize money for the year? No, we'll save that for later. Russell, thank you very much. Our correspondent Russell will be back with us later on then. So coverage of Alcaraz Paul, the quarterfinals here at the French Open, will begin on 5 Sports Extra 3, 7:30, and then at the conclusion of the football tonight on 5 Live, we will bring you commentary from here in Paris. Right, let's head to the cricket then. Third ODI, England chasing that DLS adjusted target of 246. Ellie Oldroyd watching.
And Jamie Smith is making it look very easy indeed. He's just reached his 50 off 25 balls, reached that target with a 6. We've seen 3 sixes, 2 of which had the ground staff searching over in the Harleyford Road and also behind the covers at the Vauxhall end. That's another 6. Third 6 from Jamie Smith. England cruising at the moment, 93 without loss, chasing that 246 to win.
Ellie, thank you very much. And in the last few minutes as well, sticking with the cricket, Royal Challengers Bengaluru have won the Indian Premier League for the first time. They beat the Punjab Kings by 6 runs. Right, England in control, or are they, in this Nations League match? It's the decider of who will top the group, and they lead the world champions by a 1-0. We'll cross back to Spain now to our commentary team, former England defender Lindsay Johnson, our commentator Vicky Sparks, and a couple of changes here for England, Vicky.
Yeah, Missy Bow-Cairns is making her debut. She's been brought on for Georgia Stanway. Now, Stanway only just back from injury. This is Stanway's first, or was Stanway's first start since mid-December. So Missy Bow-Cairns has replaced her. Perfectly reasonable for Georgia Stanway to only get 45 minutes. But as Spain prepared to kick us off, Lindsay Johnson alongside me. What a moment this is for Missy Bow-Cairns. Aston Villa player, 24 years of age, and making her England debut against the reigning world champions in a game that has some real significance.
Yeah, massive significance, and I think it's great for her to come on and get a good 45 minutes as well. It's not, 10 minutes at the end of the game, and she'll be wanting to show Serena what she can do on this stage.
So that the half-time change for England as we are underway in this second half here in Barcelona, and Spain starting brightly. Carmona's ball into the area. Pariuelo's there and fires over on the angle. Well, what a warning for England early on in this second half as Spain looked for the equaliser. And Salma Pariuelo, what a chance that was for the Barcelona attacker, playing in the city in which she plays her club football to such good effect, but it's wasted.
Yeah, it's a really good quick break by Spain. That ball into the far corner. Pariuelo comes in on that right hand side, takes it on her right foot. She'll be disappointed not to hit the target.
As it's flicked forward, looking for England's goal scorer, Alessia Russo, played back by Olga Carmona. We're standing up in the gantry here in the RCD Stadium, the home of Espanyol, and there's loads of commentators in the booth alongside us, and somewhere I can hear Spanish radio going absolutely bonkers about Pariuelo missing that chance. If you can hear that, that's what's going on in the background. As Alexia Putellas plays it forward, here's Pariuelo once again. No changes to Spain at half-time. We'll take you through the lineups in a moment. In fact, we've got a chance to do that now as Greenwood's gone down and has won a free kick for England. But first, in fact, let's go back to the cricket where there's been a wicket. Ellie Oldroyd.
Yeah, Jamie Smith's magnificent innings is over. 64 off 28 balls. He'd hit 20 off the previous 4 balls. He was bowled by Gudakesh Moti. Joe Root has joined Ben Duckett out in the middle. 94 for 1 England after 7 overs.
Thanks very much, Ellie, as the ball is all the way back with Hannah Hampton, and Northern Ireland back underway as well in their crucial Women's Nations League game. Michael Clark.
We have played 2 minutes since the restart, and 2 is also the number of changes that Tanya Oxtoby made at half-time, sending Emily Wilson and Kerry Halliday on for Danielle Maxwell and Jolie Andrews. So not resting on her laurels, Bosnia bursting into the box, trying to put themselves in front. Northern Ireland just about getting the bodies in the way and clearing their lines. 1-1. I think it's going to be a busy second half, Vicky.
And here goes Spain, just shooting narrowly wide. Alexia Putellas is claiming that Hannah Hampton got a touch on that, but it's been given as a goal kick to England. But they have started very brightly indeed, Spain, as they look for this equaliser.
They have, but very little pressure on the ball for Caldente. She's able to drive that ball into the centre of the box. Putellas turns, gets that shot off. She wasn't far off. England need to be a little bit tighter.
Yep, Spain have really come out of the blocks sharply, stung by a couple of decisions that they felt didn't go their way in the first half. Big penalty shout for handball against Niamh Charles, not given. And also felt there was a foul by Charles on Pariuelo in the build-up to Russo's opener for England, which is the only goal of the game so far. As the ball is played straight out of play by Spain once again. There has been sloppiness from both sides, but at the moment it's predominantly from the reigning world champions Spain, as England lead by 1-0. So, in terms of those lineups, it is Hampton in goal for England. Bronze, Williamson, Greenwood and Charles. The back 4, Missy Bow-Cairns making her debut now in the midfield alongside Kira Walsh and Jess Park, with Mead and Hemp supporting Russo. England's goal scorer up front is Aitana Bonmati, the 2-time Ballon d'Or winner. Drives through the England half, she's still going. Bonmati lays it off to Pariuelo, back to Bonmati. Good footing by Niamh Charles, was just a little bit short there from Pariuelo. Niamh Charles was a bit short there and Pariuelo steals it back, but Walsh will clear away. England again with the white shirts, the blue shorts and the white socks, sitting deep, soaking up this Spain pressure. Happy to play out from the back, and Greenwood does just that. It's intercepted by Bonmati. Spain taking their chances, seizing the opportunities of those little spaces in the Lionesses' defence and working it down this right-hand side as Greenwood clears away from the onrushing on Abaje and out of play for a Spain throw. They've got Coy in goal. The back 4 of Abaje, Paredes, the captain, Alexandria and Carmona, Bonmati, Guillaro and Putellas, the Barcelona trio in midfield with Caldente, Pariuelo and Gonzalez up front as they work it down the right-hand side once more. Spain good running to get the better of Niamh Charles, and Hannah Hampton does well, claims that cross inside her own 6-yard box just in front of Esther Gonzalez.
Yeah, really come out the blocks, haven't they, Spain? Particularly Bonmati. That drive through the middle, she really dribbled with speed. Big space for her, though. England had bombed forward all midfield, high up the pitch. There was a lot of space for Bonmati, but here's a pace on the ball to Paruello. It's just behind her. If that ball was in front of her, a bit more pace, Paruello would have been in.
So Hannah Hampton will have the ball just inside the England penalty area as we restart. England leading by a goal to nil. So we've just heard from Michael, still 1-1 between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Northern Ireland. A draw is enough for Northern Ireland to secure a promotion playoff in League B as they look to make it up to League A. And elsewhere in League A, Wales are trailing Italy by 2-0 as Missy Bokens picks it up for England and pulls it back to Lucy Bronze. England looking to become the first team since the USA in 2019 to beat Spain twice in a calendar year, which is quite a remarkable statistic. As Onabaje gets a foot in and sends the ball out of play for a throw to England. Plenty of time to go, 40 minutes plus added time in this second half, Lindsay Johnson. But if they could beat Spain, having beaten them at Wembley back in February, and bearing in mind that Spain and England are both among the big favourites for the Euros that's starting just over a month's time in Switzerland, how much of a statement would this be?
Yeah, I think it'll be a massive statement. I think England have done well tonight so far to keep Spain at bay. They've had periods of high possession for Spain, but England have been able to keep in the game and get that goal. And I think if they win tonight, that's a massive statement going into the Euros and give them high confidence.
Flag goes up on this near side against Lauren Hemp, so Spain have the free kick, and it's so key, isn't it? You know, when you think about the difficulty of England's group at the Euros, they've got France as their first game in Zurich on the 5th of July, then they've got the Netherlands, and then they've got Wales. They have to hit the ground running, you know, because the Netherlands and France and England are all sides that realistically could seriously expect to reach the final of the Euros, and one of them is not going to get out of the group because it's only the top two that go through.
Yeah, and it's all important, whoever you're playing, to get a win in that first game. But I think against France, that's going to be a real tough game. How England attack that game. Do they go for it? You know, do they tactically try and suss out the game? I think there's lots to think about there. But yeah, really tough group with Netherlands in the second game.
Ball is with Hannah Hampton as a Mexican wave makes its way leisurely around the stadium here in Barcelona, the RCD Stadium, home of Espanyol. It's where England's men will play their World Cup qualifier against Andorra on Saturday. You'll be able to listen to full commentary on 5 Live from 5 o'clock on Saturday as the ball is all the way back with Katakoi. And I think it's fascinating as well to see how England approach this second half, because say that there's a similar situation in that opener against France and they're 1-0 up early stages of the second half. Of course they're different opponents, France and Spain, but in terms of the big names, they're both big names, both difficult sides to play against. Are England going to try and see this out, or are they going to push for the second, and how are they going to go about doing just that? As Olga Carmona, deep in England territory, left hand side, pulls it back to Guiaro. Now Alexia Putellas, lovely ball forward. It was left by Bonmati, but Carmona won't latch onto it, and Hannah Hampton can gather. England still lead 1-0, 8 minutes gone in the second half.
And I think it'd be really difficult to go 40 minutes where you're just trying to see out the game. I think England, what they did in the first half, they soaked up that pressure. They had a low block. They seemed comfortable in that low block. At times, a little bit suspect in their defending, but they were able to gamble and get that goal. But really, 40 minutes, I think they need to try and get a second goal against the world champions.
Well, that's a lovely ball forward, almost, from Missy Bokens. It looked as though it was going to spin around to that left-hand side in Lauren Hemp, but she just raises a hand of apology, making her England debut at 24 years of age. And really interesting change, wasn't it, from Serena Wiegman? Yes, we say Georgia Stanway coming off, probably pre-planned, given how long she's been out. But in terms of Missy Bokens, I mean, Serena Wiegman names the Euro squad on Thursday as Carmona chips an aimless ball forward that Hannah Hampton chests down and will play out for England. But in terms of that squad, does this suggest to you, Lindsay, that Missy Bokens is going to be in that squad for the Euros?
Initially, that's my thought. I'm thinking why put her on if she's not going to be in your squad? But there's lots of things at play here, is it? Because we've got to rest players, we don't want to risk injury, so lots of things at play, and I couldn't imagine to get into Serena's mind to see what's going on there. But yeah, it suggests to me that she's a possibility going into that Euro squad.
Here is Mariona Caldente for Spain as the world champions come forward down the right hand side. Here is Parayuelo, who's missed a good chance early on to level things up in this second half already. Right hand side of the penalty area, dinks the ball across, nobody really there in a red shirt, and Lucy Bronze should reach it first and does so for England, who lead by a goal to nil. Cleared up towards the goal scorer Alessia Russo and brought down by Alexandri. Elena Paredes, the Spain captain, plays it out to the left hand side, and Olga Carmona, who feeds Mariona Caldente of Arsenal. Putellas is making the run, but Caldente plays it in field instead to Aitana Bonmati. Back to Caldente, hugging that left-hand touchline. England well marshalled, but Spain do really well to play it down to Putellas. Flag is up, though. Too many offsides for both sides, really, in this game. As we can head to Wales against Italy, there's been another goal. Molly Stevens.
Well, things are going from bad to worse for Wales. Vicky Sofia Cantore secures their third goal of the evening for Italy. Olivia Clark, the Wales keeper, static in goal, not good enough for Wales, and zero confidence now heading into the Euros for them. Wales 0, Italy 3.
Thanks very much, Molly. That was a 6:30 kick-off, so plenty of time. Wales still to play, and that one has changes afoot here for England. Beth Mead and Lucy Bronze making way, and Jess Carter and Chloe Kelly, who scored off the bench in the last game up against Portugal, coming on. Interesting one with Jess Carter as well, isn't it? Starting against Portugal at left back. Neve Charles has got the nod today. Charles still on the pitch here, so Carter at the moment has popped up at right back. We'll see if England just shift this formation a little bit, or whether Carter will stay out there for now, as Russo won't latch onto that ball, and it's all the way back with Katakoi.
I think it's really interesting because just before that I was looking at Lucy Bronze and thinking how much ground she's covered. We understand she does that week in, week out, but I think she's been one of England's best players tonight. I think she's had Olga Carmona. She's really worked hard to keep her out of the game and limited her opportunities going forward. So hopefully Carter can do the same.
Good foot in by Chloe Kelly to win that ball, although it is given as a Spain throw, and it's taken quickly right in front of their manager, Montse Tomé. She was very strong about the 1-0 defeat to England at Wembley in February in the pre-match press conference, saying very flatly, look, we didn't deserve to lose that game. It was at least a draw given the chances we had. We dominated them at Wembley. Team gave a very high performance. You look at the stats from that game, Spain had 58% possession to England's 42. That's not really as high as Spain normally have. 20 shots to England's 9, but England had 6 shots on target to Spain's 5. So football's all about opinions, but from an England perspective, they felt they played very well as Caldente goes for the curler from 25 yards and into the fans behind the goal away to our left.
You wouldn't use the word dominant when you look at stats like that, and I watched the game. I thought it was a really well-worked plan by Serena Wiegmann. I think overall England deserved the 1-0 win.
So first change for Spain of the evening, and it's been a frustrating one for Salma Parayuelo. She's had a couple of good chances and wasted them. She's in. She is replaced by her Barcelona teammate Claudia Pina. And listen to the reception she gets here in Barcelona. That was the one change that Spain made ahead of this match, but Pina, Lindsay, is capable of scoring some absolutely beautiful goals.
Yeah, she's a natural goal scorer. She's clinical, she's a threat, and she's a willing runner as well, just like Parayuelo. So you're not going to get off lightly with Pina coming on the pitch.
Anna Hampton in possession, chips the ball over Esther Gonzalez out to Jess Carter on the right-hand side. England leading by a goal to nil, 13 minutes gone in this second half. Yeah, and the thing with Claudia Pina as well is she doesn't need to start to have an impact. She's the top scorer in the Champions League this season. It's England putting the pressure on Paredes, who goes all the way back to Katakoi for Spain. But so often she was used from the bench, and to be top scorer in that regard. It's a little bit like Lauren Hemp, really, not in terms of startings and subs, but she's the top assist maker in the WSL this season, Lauren Hemp. She only played 10 games. She's got 8 assists because of injury. She's got 8 assists in 10 games. So there are players that don't always need all the minutes to impress, and Pina's one of them, and so is Hemp. Here comes Spain. That's a good ball. That's impressive to Alessia Russo. Left-hand side, Alexia Putellas cleared away at the back by England and picked up once more. Here is Putellas once again. driving down that left-hand side for Spain, chips the ball in. Hannah Hampton wasn't sure, it's headed away by England, helped out of the penalty area, brought down on the edge of the box. Here is Pina just off the bench. Can she make that impact? Yes, she can! It's 1-1, and what were we saying just seconds ago? That is what Claudia Pina does. It's a really clinical finish, and England pegged back to 1-1.
Yeah, a lot of pressure from Spain, and England were unable to clear her lines. I thought Neve Charles made a really good defensive header, really difficult to deal with, but it landed to Spain on the edge of the box and delivered it to Pina. Pina takes a touch out onto her right foot and just hits it into the bottom far corner. Hampton outstretched, but she just couldn't get a hand to it. Fantastic finish from Pina.
Well, she is so clinical in those sort of areas. Her manager at Barcelona, Pedro Romeu, says it's her greatest strength. The closer she is to goal, the more composed she is. Where other players will rush a shot in that sort of area, she's always confident and composed enough to take an extra touch if she needs to steady herself, and that is why she scores so many goals. And we're back level, so all change at the top of this table in this Nations League group. Spain back to their position at the top, 2 points ahead of England. England have to win to qualify for the Nations League finals and also to be one of the top seeds for World Cup qualifiers, which is also really important. So, work now to do for the Lionesses in this second half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Kira Walsh chips the ball into the area. A bit of hesitancy there from Coy, but nobody in a white shirt was near enough to really pressure her. And Spain, all in red, will get things moving once again. Lindsay Johnson.
What was so good about that Pina goal is she takes the touch with her right foot just to give us some space, and then quickly takes that shot on with her left foot. And I think that just takes Hampton off guard because Carter's just in her eyesight as well. So just impeded a little bit, makes it more difficult for Hampton to get a hand on that.
Here goes Pina, the substitute scoring for Spain, is driving forward. She was pulled back there by Cairns, but keeps going out to the right-hand side, and Bonmati won't reach that. Oh, hesitancy there from Greenwood. It does roll through to Hannah Hampton. Right, talk me through that there, then Lindsay Johnson, former England defender. Did Alex Greenwood know exactly what she was doing there, or did she get caught in two minds?
I think she knew what she was doing, but she was hoping that a goalkeeper was able to read it. However, it's a really grey area when you're that close to goal in the 6-yard area. Defenders need to defend, I think, in that position. So Greenwood just needs to clear her lines. Hampton dealt with it well, though.
Tell you what, that goal has really galvanised Spain. They're screaming for every decision. Their manager, Montse Tomé, is doing exactly the same. They've won a throw just in front of her. And here is Olga Carmona. Plays it back to Maya Alexandre. And a test now then for the Lionesses. As we say, they're already in League A for the World Cup qualifiers. That was the first objective of this Nations League campaign, and they've achieved that. But to keep the momentum against Spain, to win the group, to get into the Nations League finals, to get one of those top seeding spots for the World Cup qualifiers, all of those are important objectives. And of course, to lay down a real marker ahead of the Euros. As Alexandre plays it to Alexia Putellas, it's Spain in the ascendancy. Putellas then goes down, and Chloe Kelly protests, and England's turn to feel a little bit aggrieved as Kelly and Putellas came together there, and Spain with a free kick central position, 25 yards out, 1-1. Lindsay Johnson.
It's intelligent play from Putellas there. She knows exactly what she's doing. Chloe Kelly can't get out of her way. She just shifts her feet, Putellas, so quickly, and then steps into Chloe Kelly, goes down, and referee has to give a free kick there.
So it's actually been moved back a couple of yards by our Hungarian official, Katalin Kulcsár. So probably best part of 27 yards now as Olga Carmona has just received some instructions from the technical area. Comes back now. Well, they've got a lot of set-piece specialists, Spain. One of them is Pina. Putellas is there as well. England with a 4-player wall just outside the penalty area as Spain look to take the lead in this Women's Nations League game. It will be left by Putellas for Pina, who goes for goal, and Hampton's right behind it, spills it, but no red shirt near enough, and gathers at the second attempt, 1-1.
Yeah, it was a standard save for Hampton. She gets her body behind it, but does spill it. Like you say, there's no Spanish player there to pick it up, but she'd want to do better with that. Like a standard shot for her to come and take.
Is it fair to say, as Hampton gets us underway again, and Cream is looking for options, there's 3 red shirts there. England play it nicely around them. And forward now to Lauren Hemp, nicely laid off to Neve Charles. forward to Alessia Russo, but Spain get the header in. And then England want the free kick, and they get it with Hemp going down just inside the Spain half. Is it fair to say that it's been a bit of an up and down performance from Hampton? I mean, she made a brilliant save in the opening exchanges, really world class to keep it at 0-0, but distribution occasionally has been a little bit iffy. And she is currently still sitting down, so the referee has spotted this, so Hannah Hampton's going to get a bit of treatment. Could well be one of these. I mean, what are we, 90 minutes in to this second half, that, you know, they're looking for a little breather because England have lost the momentum. But, you know, we say could well be one of those. If it's not, then somebody's going to be making their debut, either Kiara Keating or Anna Morehouse, and that is the situation in which England have been left with the retirement of Mary Earps.
And this could well happen in the tournament, and this is the situation we're in. We've got 2 goalkeepers on the bench who have yet to get a senior cap for England, and they could make it in the Euros. My opinion, make it now. I think it's really important that we try and get the win tonight, so we're seeded for the World Cup and we get to the semi-finals as in the Nations Cup, the Nations League. However, I think one of these goalkeepers needs to come on tonight and get experience.
You'd bring one of them on, Keating or Morehouse?
Yeah, I think so. I think given the opportunity, Hampton's down there. It doesn't look like a tactical timeout while players they are with their coaches at the moment. But it does look like she's getting treatment to her knee.
Well, we will keep a very close eye on this. This would be a huge story. So let's see. She is having a drink and all the players are breaking away from Serena Wiegmann, who has been giving some very detailed tactical instructions. So let's see. While we wait for this match to resume and see if Hannah Hampton is going to get up to her feet imminently, which she just is helped to her feet by the medical staff and looks pretty fine to continue. It's half-time in the match between Wales and Italy. Molly Stevens.
Yeah, and it's Wales 0, Italy 4 at only half-time. Really disappointed from Wales defensively. They look so laboured out there today, and after giving themselves an uphill battle, it's visible to see their confidence is completely on the floor. The Wales keeper Olivia Clark has departed the field injured as well. Sophia Middleton Patel replacing her. It's really not ideal preparation for the Euros, which is the next stop, of course, for Rhian Wilkinson's side. Wales 0, Italy 4 at half-time.
And just when Hannah Hampton went down, we saw a replay. And even though Hampton was getting some physio on her knee, we saw a replay of Leah Williamson message, just a quiet word in Hampton's ear. It was obviously to go down and get a little bit of information, so definitely a little bit of tactical gameplay there.
So England breathe again. Hampton's up, she is fine. We're back underway. It's 1-1 here in Barcelona, but this is it, isn't it? You know, it is such a talking point now with no Mary Earps. Yes, it was tactical that time. What if it's not next time? This ball goes out of play for a Spain throw on halfway.
Yeah, and this is the position we find ourselves in. And, you know, I know no manager wants to make changes to goalkeepers in these type of games. However, they do need experience because they could be needed in the Euros.
And as I say, Katakoy made her debut in the knockout stages of the World Cup for Spain a couple of years ago and ended up winning it. So it can pay off. And Spain come forward 1-1 in this Women's Nations League game. Midway through the second half, England need to win the group. They were leading 1-0. They've been pegged back by Claudia Pina off the bench in the second half, and it's Pina on the ball now. Pulls it back to Olga Carmona, out to the left-hand side, and Aitana Bonmati. Spain on top at the moment as they play it in field to Pina once more as the Lionesses marshal those defences back into that structure. Here is Paredes as Spain work it out to the right-hand side, and Ona Badge, well, pressured by Lauren Hemp. Be interesting to see how long she can play. She hasn't played 90 minutes yet for club or country this year after returning in April from 5.5 months out with a knee injury. Crucial minutes for her and the likes of Alex Greenwood and Georgia Stanway as well, who's gone off at half-time after making her first start since mid-December. Good to see them back on the pitch ahead of the Euros and that squad being named on Thursday. And all eyes will be on whether Lauren James, still out with a hamstring injury, is included. Get the signs and the sounds that Serena Wiegmann is pretty positive that she will make at least some of the tournament. Oh, Greenwood's made a mess of that, and Esther Gonzalez has made a mess of the shot. Well, a catalogue of errors there, and that's the second time in this game that Esther Gonzalez has been gifted an opportunity in the first half by Williamson, there by Greenwood, and she hasn't been able to take it. Might have been an offside, possibly. In fact, there is, yes, it's going to be a free kick to England, it looks like. rather than a goal kick. But again, you know, there is an individual error there from Alex Greenwood, and that has cost England too much over the last couple of years. Not punished by Gonzalez and would have been offside anyway. Spain have won it back. England's really struggling to get to grips at the moment with this game in the second half as Pina goes for the curler. Oh, it's brilliant! It's in off the post, and Claudia Pina is running amok after coming off the bench. What a performance this is from her. And from leading 1-0, England are 2-1 down to the world champions.
It's just too easy. It's too easy for Pina. Chloe Kelly comes in, tries to close her down. Pina turns her, has a bit of space, and then there's no pressure. She's able to have the time to curl that into the bottom corner. Fantastic, sublime finish from Pina, but in my opinion it was too easy for her to get a shot off and goal. Not taking anything away from that world-class finish.
Well, we said when she came on, didn't we? She's capable of the spectacular, and you can see the Spanish subs are on their feet, their heads in their hands in terms of shock and awe. I remember Irene Paredes, her teammate at Barcelona, saying in the later stages of the Champions League in one of the interviews ahead of the Chelsea semi-final that she is just lovely madness. And it is a great way, you know, you can hear her name being chanted all around the stands here in Barcelona. They absolutely love her. I'm sure so many of these Spain fans will have seen her week in, week out for Barcelona this season as well. She is a real talent, pure quality, and she scored 2 cracking goals, but that second one, I mean, it was just sumptuous.
It was mouth-watering, and we talked about just before, didn't we, about the impact the subs had for England in the Euros, but the impact that Claudia Pina has had in this second half is unbelievable. She's changed this game for Spain, and she looks like she wants more as well. She looks hungry.
Yeah, absolutely. As we say, she was the one change for this game from their victory over Belgium, and she's played a brilliant ball forward to Carmona, but Carmona's ball into the penalty area is cut up by Williamson. Walsh plays it back to Greenwood, who plays it out to the left-hand side, and Niamh Charles will cut it forward looking for Lauren Hemp. That ball will be shepherded out of play by Caldente, and Spain will have a throw, leading by 2-1. So England need to score twice if they're to win this Nations League group and qualify for the Nations League finals, and also finish as one of the top seeds for the World Cup qualifiers. If not, as they have done in this Nations League group and in the European qualifiers, they could end up in a tough group for World Cup qualifying, and only the winners automatically go through to the tournament in 2027 as Spain come over the halfway line. Here is Laia Alexandri out to the left-hand side, and Pina, who's on a hat-trick, having come off the bench to turn this game around for Spain. And she's one of the 15 players that wrote that email to the Spanish FA ahead of the World Cup complaining about conditions. She didn't go to the World Cup. In the end, there's 12 of those players who wrote that email didn't. Some of them choosing not to, some of them weren't selected. But it's frightening to think that Spain did win the World Cup with so many players absent, the likes of Pina among them, as they come down the right-hand side looking for more goals. It's cleared away by Kira Walsh, and they need to find a way to get back into this quickly. And you just wonder, and just as I say that, you just wonder if they'll make changes. Ella Toon's about to come on as Alexia Putellas plays the ball in, left-footed. It's headed away by Niamh Charles, and it will go out of play for a Spain throw. So Ella Toon, who missed the Portugal game with a minor calf injury, is about to come on, but she can't because Spain have taken that throw really quickly. As Lauren Hemp will clear away up towards halfway. Irene Paredes will bring it down, and out to the left-hand side she goes to Laia Alexandri. 2-1 Spain lead in this Women's Nations League tie. 27 minutes gone in the second half here in Barcelona on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Coverage from the French Open tennis coming up at the conclusion of this game with Katie Smith, Russell Fuller in the team. And we will have commentary from this very stadium, the RCDE Stadium here in Barcelona, home of Espanyol, again on Saturday evening, where England's men take on Andorra in their World Cup qualifier. Coverage starts, or commentary starts I should say, at 5 o'clock as Katakoy clears out to the left-hand side. Played in field by Alexia Putellas, but England are chasing Spanish shadows at the moment as Carmona has it. Let's head for an update from the Northern Ireland game. Michael Clark.
16 minutes to go. Bosnia and Herzegovina 1, Northern Ireland 1. Still the latest score, and Bosnia and Herzegovina finally looking to make some changes. Northern Ireland have made 4, and all attacking ones as well. Remember, a draw would do, but Tanya Oxtoby seemingly senses that they could clinch a winner here. The best chance Northern Ireland have had in the second half fell to their goal scorer Simone McGill, but she blazed over just inside the box after Kerry Halliday found her. 74 played, still 1-1.
Thanks, Michael. As it stands, that will be enough to secure Northern Ireland a promotion playoff in League B as they look to move up to League A for the World Cup qualifiers. That would be huge for them. Spain build down this left-hand side. Here is Pina, challenged by Carter, out for a Spain throw. Back to the cricket. Sally Oldroyd.
England's 150 is up, 246 is the target, a reduced target, so 40 overs. We saw magnificent 64 from Jamie Smith. Ben Duckett's also got a 50. He's on 57 off 38. 151 for 1 England after 14.
And in the Women's Nations League, Scotland just getting underway against the Netherlands. Stuart Mitchell is watching.
Yes, Vicky, kick-off in Tilburg, 30 minutes northwest of Eindhoven. Scotland only arrived at lunchtime yesterday after an issue with their charter flight, just to make it more difficult for Melissa Andreatta's second game in charge. 5 Netherlands changes, with Arsenal's Daphne van Domselaar coming in, as well as Victoria Pelova. Scotland make 2 changes, with Rangers youngsters Macaulay and McLean coming in. Just about 30 seconds underway here.
Thanks very much, Stuart. So, yes, Scotland already relegated from League A. Looking for a good performance as Pina plays the ball in, and it's scooped over on the penalty spot. What an opportunity that was for the on-rushing Aitana Bonmati. They've had so many chances in this game, Spain, to score more, and England could have been punished. They've made a change, incidentally. The Lionesses, Ella Toone, back from that calf injury, replacing Jess Park.
Claudia Pina's just on fire. She took that ball with her right, outside of her right foot, into that space and whipped in an unbelievable ball. You think it falls for Bonmati, you think she'll place it into the back of the net, but scuffs her shot. But yeah, it's relentless from Spain at the moment. England just can't get a hold of the ball. Really struggling. Alicia Russo's doing a lot of running up front, but just feeding off scraps at the moment.
Yeah, 14 minutes plus added time to play. England need 2 goals to turn this game around and win this Women's Nations League group if they're to qualify for the finals in the autumn, as Pina comes down the left-hand side again. She's up against Jess Carter, who's been brought on to play at right back with Lucy Bronze going off. And Pina plays it back to Alexia Puteas. And now Laia Alexandri. Pina once again. Back to Paredes. Spain in the mood for more, leading England by 2-1 as they have it over on the right-hand side. Now Bonmati driving down to the byline. She's up against Kira Walsh, a former Barcelona teammate here in Barcelona on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. As Bonmati picks it up once more. She's just everywhere, isn't she? You never know where she's going to pop up. Right wing, left wing, attacking midfield, in the box, central midfield.
She moves everywhere. She's always scanning, looking over her shoulder, and at the moment Kira Walsh is just looking to see where Bonmati is, so it takes her out of the game for England.
And here comes Spain once again, almost into the penalty area, but good recovery against Onabaje from Niamh Charles, but she can't do anything with it other than clear it out for a throw midway through England's half over on the far side, and they just cannot get anywhere near Spain at the moment. Spain have really, since the introduction of Pina, ramped it up in this second half. The reigning world champions against the reigning European champions, England, as Laia Alexandri plays it out to this left-hand side. Here is Olga Carmona. England need 2 goals there to turn this around and win this group in this final Nations League match of the campaign, as Bonmati has it, and Spain just happy now to slow the play down on this very warm evening still here in Barcelona as they go all the way back to goalkeeper Casacoi. What do you think Serena Wiegmann's assessment of this second half in particular will be, Lindsay?
I think she'll be disappointed with the second half. Spain have come out with different mentality, really, and that substitution of Claudia Pina has really changed the game for Spain. But I think England have struggled to cope with Pina, particularly on this left-hand side, but just struggled to get possession of the ball as well, and they've suffered. They're doing a lot of running off the ball.
And here goes Pina again. It's well read by Leah Williamson out to the right-hand side, and Jess Carter now. Kira Walsh forward. Chloe Kelly picks it up. This is nicely worked by England. Is the flag going to go up against Russo? No, it stays down, and there's no VAR, so it will continue to stay down. Russo tried to cut the ball in field. It bounces off Paredes, and that's probably the best scenario there for England. It goes behind for an England corner because the players weren't really up with Russo there, but Paredes just couldn't control that contact on the ball, and it bounces behind. England with the corner. We've got 12 minutes plus added time to play. They trail 2-1. Got to score twice if they want to win the group. If they could get a goal here, and it's all to play for.
And they've got the players, the attacking players in this situation, the likes of Leah Williamson, Alex Greenwood, Alicia Russo as well as in there. Just have the refs having a word with the keeper.
Yeah, Katakoi right on her goal line. You've got 3 white shirts around the penalty spot. Greenwood's one of them. So the ball is swung in by Lauren Hemp, and Spain don't really deal with it, and Coy then snatches it away from Jess Carter, who was coming in. Coy had already claimed it. Carter then catches her. Whistle goes. Spanish fans up in arms. Free kick to Spain. No harm done.
No harm done at all, and I think Carter's got to go with that with her left foot. It was there to be won. Coy was always favourite, but Carter's got to go for that there. Missy Bone Kearns got a good header onto that as well, didn't it? Just fell to the back post, but Carter just couldn't get on the end of it.
Yeah, Missy Bone Kearns on at half-time for her England debut. Does that mean she's going to be in the Euro squad? That's what all the speculation will be. Serena Wiegmann saying before this game that she was pretty close to making her final decisions. I don't know, I reckon she'd made them. Lindsay Johnson is nodding silently next to me. I mean, you never know, somebody could get injured, somebody could put in an amazing performance, but clearly they don't just look at one game, they look at the overall season. And Serena Wiegmann, I think, is a manager who knows her mind very well and likes to have things clear in her mind so that they can start not just working on shaping the squad, but shaping the starting 11 and the substitutes and everything that comes with that. The squad will be named on Thursday, so we will know who the 23 will be. As Alex Greenwood has it, midway inside the England half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 11 minutes plus added time to play here in Barcelona. Spain preparing to make another change. The former Manchester United player Lucia Garcia is going to come on. And Lauren Hemp still out there as well. Be great to see her get her first 90 minutes in 2025 for club or country, having been out for so long with that knee injury. And Spain win possession and play it forward. If England can get a goal, level things up at 2-2, just make it interesting. They've got to win if they want to finish top of the group and be one of the top seeds for the World Cup qualifiers. Be a disappointment if they don't do that, but they are playing the world champions, Spain. And Pina's been fantastic. She comes down the left-hand side and lays it off to Pateas, now Carmona. But Spain just really, for the first time in this game, with 9 minutes plus added time to play, really happy just to slow the play down in the heat here in Barcelona. Although, as I say that, they then go through the gears. I mean, it's a hallmark of their play as well, as Carmona dinks it in, and Gonzalez with the header, it's wide again. Well, she's been in such brilliant form in this Nations League campaign, Esther Gonzalez, but she has missed a hatful of chances, and that's going to be her final action. Frustrating night for her personally. She's replaced by Lucia Garcia.
Really good move from Gonzalez though, but she does get in between Greenwood and Niamh Charles. Nobody picks her up and takes that responsibility. Lucky that she doesn't get the shot on target. But yeah, Lucia Garcia coming on. I really enjoyed when she was in the WSL with Manchester United. She's a real aggressive forward, another handful for England to deal with. But England have got 10 minutes to try and get something out of this game. Really give it, and they've got Beaver Jones on the bench, a hat-trick against Portugal. I'd really be thinking about putting her on, trying to nick a goal in the last few minutes.
England need to win the group and win this game. Good turn by Missy Bone Kearns, but then she loses it and commits the foul. And she's going to go straight into the book for that as well. And looks to the heavens as Patrick Guillaro still down. And Spain will have a set-piece central position 30 yards out. They lead 2-1. Lindsay Johnson.
It's frustrating for Missy Bone Kearns because she takes the ball lovely on the half turn, opens the body up, but it's that next touch, just a heavy one. And then Spain are so quick with that high aggressive press. They're on it in a flash, and she has to give that free kick away, really.
So Guiaro's still down, is going to receive some treatment. There's been another wicket at the cricket. Eleanor Aldroyd.
Yes, and Ben Duckett is out. He was going really well. He was on 58 of 46 balls, but just hammered one to get caught in the covers by Lewis off chase. So he is out 58. Joe Root is still there, 23 off 23. He's passed 21,000 ODI runs during this innings, and he's being joined by Harry Brook. England 155 for 2, chasing 246 to win, and they've got another 24 overs to get those 91 runs.
Thanks very much, Ellie. And Wales back underway in the Women's Nations League against Italy. Molly Stevens.
Yes, whereas Wales 0, Italy 4. The second half underway, and both teams have made subs at the break. Wales bringing on striker Elise Hughes for Carrie Jones. Italy replacing Sofia Cantore, one of the goal scorers, and Angelica Sofia with Valentina Chianciti and Valentina Bergamaschi. It's Wales 0, Italy 4.
Thanks very much, Molly. It's still 1-1 between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Northern Ireland. That is a result in League B that would see Northern Ireland secure a promotion playoff as they look to get into League A. And Guiaro here in Barcelona is up to her feet. Alexia Putellas is over this free kick. It's actually just a little bit further than 30 yards out. I mean, they're urging her to shoot. The queen of Barcelona. I don't think she's going to. No, she's not. She was trying to play it through to Lucia Garcia along the ground, but the ball does its job. Out to the right-hand side goes Spain, and Badge leading England by 2-1 thanks to a second half masterclass from Claudia Pina as Caldente has it down by the corner flag into the final 6 minutes plus added time here in Barcelona as Spain work it back to halfway. Goal in the game between Netherlands and Scotland. Stuart Mitchell.
Yes, and it's Netherlands 1, Scotland 0. Jill Rood scores her 30th goal for the national side with a lot of pressure from the Netherlands on goalkeeper of Scotland, Lee Gibson. But a brilliant finish high into the net from close range. 1-0 Netherlands.
And Scotland, as we've mentioned already this evening, already relegated from League A in the Nations League. The Netherlands, of course, in that Euros group with France, Wales and England. And the tournament begins in July. It is the proverbial group of death. Netherlands, France and England all would have realistic expectations of being good enough to go all the way to the final. One of them is not going to make the knockout stages. As Guiaro wins it for Spain. England really under pressure here, trailing by 2-1, and Spain deservedly, you have to say, leading this game and could have scored more, as that's a poor ball by Putellas. Carmona will just keep it in, and those sort of things are starting to come off for Spain. Even when they're just losing a little bit of concentration, it's not going straight out of play. They've got the wind in their sails thanks to this fabulous player Claudia Pina, who's just been brought down there. And Chloe Kelly protests, but it is going to be a free kick, and Monse Tomé comes and puts an arm round star forward and just wants to make sure that there is no lasting damage there. Doesn't look like it. Pina's back up to her feet, but she has been outstanding. In terms of defensively, I mean, we mentioned Jess Carter coming on at right back. I mean, to face Claudia Pina in this second half, it has been a challenge.
It has been a challenge, and I thought Lucy Bronze did exceptionally well against Carmona, but then Claudia Pina's a different threat altogether. It's been difficult for Jess Carter. I think as well we have to look at the game plan, and it changed in the second half, didn't we? When England go 2-1 down, it's what you're going to do, and in tournament football you need to get that goal, you need to get that win. Now we see Beaver Jones come on with only a few minutes to go. Russo's done so much running tonight. Difficult shift for her on the pitch.
Yes, replaced by Aggie Beaver Jones, fresh from her hat-trick against Portugal at Wembley. So she is on. Ball is all the way back with Katakoy. Would you have brought Beaver Jones on earlier?
Yeah, I would have. I just think as well, if you're thinking about tournament football, then that's what you do. You're chasing a game, you're 2-1 down. You can't afford to lose games, and particularly in that group of death. I would have definitely brought Beaver Jones on, and not necessarily bring Russo off, but I do think she's done a hard shift tonight, Russo, and probably deserves a rest.
Here is Paredes for Spain. Carmona is down. She's trying to get her Spanish teammates to put the ball out. They haven't seen her. Now the referee has, and she's stopped play. So Carmona's going to get a bit of treatment. They're going to make another change as well. Jana Fernandez is going to come on for Spain. But while Spain and Carmona receive this treatment, then that is fascinating in terms of when Serena Wiegmann makes the substitutions and what you need to do in these sort of big games. Do you think if this is a European Championship game that she would make different changes? Has she managed this second half with the Euros in mind? Or if this happens against the Netherlands and France, do you think you would see Beaver Jones come on earlier, or would you stick with the same players? I mean, I know it's all speculation and hypotheticals, but this is a really good example of what England might find themselves in terms of situations against France and the Netherlands.
Yeah, I think if we're in tournament football and we need the win or we need the draw, you're not going to bring Lucy Bronze off. And no disrespect to Jess Carter, she's a great player, but Lucy Bronze is one of our most experienced players, and she needs to be on the pitch. So I think probably, you know, in that first half, I thought the game plan was probably right. Sit deep, soak up pressure, hit Spain on the run, get the goal, and then as the game grew in that first half, England grew in confidence and we got more of the ball. However, there was a different Spain come out in that second half, different mentality, high press, brought on substitutes in Pina, who really turned the game on the head.
Spain in possession, leading by 2-1, 2 minutes plus added time to play. It's all the way back to Katakoi, close down by Aggie Beaver-Jones, out to the left-hand side, Nona Badje. So if we think that Sarina Wiegman would play this game differently if it was at the Euros, and she's perhaps doing it with the Euros in mind, back to that in a second because Chloe Kelly's stolen the ball. Here is Lauren Hemp, who is going to get her first 90 minutes of the season, so that's a boost for the Lionesses because they've made all of the changes that they're permitted to now. And then still in possession out to the right-hand side. Here is Jess Carter, who need to score twice in the final minute or so of normal time plus added time if they're to turn this game around and win the Nations League group and beat Spain and be one of the top seeds for World Cup qualifying as well. As Leah Williamson picks it up, plays it to the right-hand side. Here is Jess Carter. Aggie Beaver-Jones wants it, but it's bypassed Missy Bokens, and then too much on that for Chloe Kelly, goes out of play for a Spain throw. So just going back to that then, do you agree then with what Wiegman's done in terms of, we presume, giving Lucy Bronze a bit of a rest, putting Jess Carter on? I mean, she may say it was completely tactical and it was just about this game, but presuming that it's not, do you agree with that? Or do you think actually, getting to the Nations League finals, beating Spain with that momentum, and crucially getting top seed for the World Cup qualifiers, actually, if she's not going to bring Carter on in the Euros, should she have brought Carter on here?
I think you go for the win tonight and you play as strong as team as you can. Obviously you think about injuries and is it a risk, but it's always a risk, and I think tonight was important to get the 3 points and a good performance against Spain. And I think we'd be a little bit disappointed with the performance tonight of England, particularly how well they played on Friday night against a different team in Portugal, but still a very attacking side.
Here comes Spain as that England attack breaks down. As we're into added time here in Barcelona, and Mariona Caldente overruns that and goes out of play for a throw to England, which they take quickly. Again, we have to say, might be a slight issue with Lucy Bronze, might be something that Sarina Wiegman thought tactically would work anyway in this game in isolation. So, we're not making definitive presuppositions about that, but the reality is that whilst anybody might have struggled against Pina, who's had a brilliant game, that change hasn't worked for England. But taking nothing away from the individual brilliance of Pina, who's come on for Spain, scored 2 brilliant goals, turned this game around, as Coy has it at the back for Spain, and plays it forward now to the woman in question. Claudia Pina out to the right hand side she goes, header is forward towards Lucia Garcia, but intercepted by Alex Greenwood. And forward now to Lauren Hemp. She's driving forwards, Selatoon staying on side, plays it back to Kira Walsh and out to the right hand side now, and Jess Carter. Chloe Kelly wants it. This is better from England. We've seen very little of this in the second half as Kelly whips it in. Hemp's in there, lays it off, but there's nobody there on the edge of the box, and Bonmati can ease away. She looks over her shoulder, Bonmati, as if to see where the rest of the red shirts are, and then just turns, does the slowest 360 I think I've ever seen in the centre of the park, because they don't need to do anything, Spain. They're leading by 2-1. And they knew that a point would be enough to see them win this Nations League group and progress to the finals. And for them, it's a good response to the 1-0 defeat by England at Wembley, where they were missing a couple of big players. And they're coming forward now, looking to finish with a flourish. It's Ona Badje. She's got Lucia Garcia, her former Manchester United teammate, there. And Kira Walsh has brought her down, and that's going to be a yellow card for Kira Walsh. And one of those that you take for the team, Lindsay.
Yeah, she knew what she was doing, a professional foul. Ona Badje, great run from her, and then she runs across Walsh. And Walsh did what she needed to do to stop her and pulled her down. But I think that's been a real big change in this second half. Spain have just dominated that central part of the pitch. Bonmati, Puteas, all dominated, and I think Walsh has struggled to have any time on the ball. Anytime she's had it, they've pickpocketed the ball off her. Really struggled to have an impact in the second half.
So 2.5 minutes gone of the minimum, 6 added on. Spain heading for victory. They will stay top of the Nations League group. They will be going through to the Nations League finals in the autumn. Can they find a third goal, having come from behind to lead 2-1? It's Alexia Puteas stands over this free kick. It's 30 yards out, central position. Now, last time she played along the ground looking for Lucia Garcia. Is she going to do that again? She's got Jana Fernandez out to the right-hand side as well. Plays it short and now works it out to The blue-booted Jana Fernandez plays it back to Irene Paredes. One concern for Spain, just thinking about the Euros, they've conceded in every single Nations League game this campaign. That will be something that teams like England will look to exploit. They do have defensive frailties, but they have scored an absolute hatful of goals as well along the way. And in the end, they'll be winning the group. But it will be those fine margins, won't it, in the later stages of the Euros.
It's something that you look for, don't you, in a team? Where are the frailties? But at the end of the day, if they end up scoring more goals than you, which they've got in abundance, goal scorers all over the pitch and in the squad, and that doesn't matter. But yes, Spain will want to look at that.
I'm going to ask you about England's consistency in a moment, Lindsay, just give you a bit of thinking time and how we sum up this performance in that regard. But Spain coming forward again. Here's Bonmati, chests it down, trying to get the shot away. Good save, Hampton. Covered that area at the near post well. Bonmati keeping it alive. Here's Lucia Garcia. First touch, let her down. Pina can't latch onto it, and England will just about clear. Pina makes the block though. Might be another chance here for Putellas. Nice footwork, but she's well marshalled away from the penalty area. Spain leading 2-1 here in the closing stages on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. England will not be winning this Nations League group as Spain work it back to halfway. But again, just another example of how Spain, if they could have got the shot away, they've had chances. They have been much the better side, particularly in this second half. England scored against the runner play in the first half, had a couple of big refereeing decisions go their way as well, the Lionesses. But this is very much in Spain's evening. Back to business for them against England in Barcelona as they have the ball with Bonmati just inside the Spain half, and we have 90 seconds of added time to play as Putellas has it. So in terms of consistency, how much of a drop-off is this, if we compare it to the Belgium 5-0 and the Belgium 3-2 defeat that they had in the Nations League? How much of a drop-off is this from the Portugal game against the reigning world champions?
Yeah, and it's a different team altogether, different style of play. Obviously, you're going to know you have in periods of time without possession of the ball. But I think tonight, England have just been second best in most areas of the pitch, unfortunately. And it is that lack of consistency that we've seen throughout the Nations League. And take Spain out of it, but you've got a draw against Portugal.
Well, here goes Pina. She's on a hat-trick. She's unselfish. She tried to play it into the centre, and it's behind for a Spain corner, and there will just about be time to take it. 45 seconds to play. Spain lead 2-1. Lindsay Johnson.
Yeah, and like I said, you've got the draw against Portugal, but then you emphatically beat them at home. You emphatically beat Belgium at home, but then you get that loss of a 3-2. And I think it's those games where you think, we've got to look at this. But they'll take away from this game tonight. They're going to have to go away, look at what the weaknesses are, how they can improve, and look forward to the Euros.
And surprisingly, Spain are keeping this corner in the corner. They don't need to do that. They're leading 2-1. Now they work it towards the penalty area, but they're back out on the left-hand side once more. Here's Putellas. Oh, that's nice skill. Takes it down past Ella Toon, but Toon recovers well, gets the foot in not once but twice and clears the way. It'll bobble to Caldente, and there goes the final whistle. England miss the chance to win their Nations League group after having led in this game through Alessia Russo in the first half. They were undone by a quite superb performance from substitute Claudia Pina off the bench in the second half to score 2 sumptuous goals for Spain as the Lionesses' Nations League campaign ends in disappointment. Lindsay Johnson.
Yeah, it is disappointing, the result and the second half performance. I thought the first half performance, they soaked up a lot of pressure. They looked confident in that low block, and then obviously hit Spain on the transition, got a couple of lucky decisions from the referee, but grew into that first half. But second half really dropped off. I think Spain upped their game, come out with different mentality, make some substitutions, but they just couldn't get anywhere near Spain, and they were chasing shadows for large parts of that second half. And unfortunately, our substitutes didn't have the impact as Spain's substitutes did.
So plenty to unpick for this, but the headlines are England miss out on the Nations League finals. They also miss out on being one of the top seeds for World Cup qualifying. They will go into that second pot of seeds in Ligue A, and not a terrible performance, not an awful performance, but a disappointing performance, and not the way they would have wanted to continue that momentum ahead of the Euros as they look to defend their European title. It finishes in Barcelona. Spain 2, England 1.
Would it be fair to say, Lindsay, that was a little bit of a reality check for England?
Possibly. I think, I'm looking here and Vicky's right. It's a disappointing performance. It wasn't a poor performance, but I think as well you've got to look at the players that we just getting back from injury. You've got Greenwood played a full 90 minutes tonight. Hemp played a full 90 minutes. We got 45 minutes out of Stanway. And in those 45 minutes, we competed with Spain and we went to goal ahead. But yes, I think it's disappointing. And I think obviously it's back to the drawing board against our old rivalry in Spain, who are they're world champions. It was always going to be tough tonight, but I'm sure Sarina will take positives from it, and she'll be able to spin it for her players on how to move forward for the Euros.
Yeah, one anonymous text had been in touch today. They said not too unhappy actually with this performance. England have been competitive. Great match to see where we can be better with the Euros just a month away. So where do England need to be targeting, Lindsay?
I think tonight we were put under a lot of high pressure and we were unable to play out and play our football. That's what Spain did to us. They nullified us, particularly in that second half. Central areas, we were overrun at times. Bonmati, Guerra, they really bossed that midfield. And I think where our outlets are, our wide players were pushed back by the fullbacks. So I think if we can get it out to our wide players, we're really, really dangerous with the likes of Hemp, Chloe Kelly, Beth Mead, Russo in the box. And I think we've got all the attributes there, but tonight it just didn't come together. But that's down to a world-class team in Spain who really nullified our danger players.
You've highlighted all the players that have come back in. Great to see them getting minutes, as you said. What about someone like Lauren James? Do you think she was maybe one of the key ingredients missing tonight? Because she put in such a great performance in that win that England had over Spain just a couple of months ago.
Yeah, she's a player that any team in the world would miss, and obviously if she can get back and fit for the Euros, then it'll be a massive boost for this England squad. She can turn the game like Claudia Pina did tonight for Spain. She come on and she had a phenomenal performance, real danger, got 2 fantastic goals, and I think Lauren James would add that to this England side and was definitely missed tonight.
Vicky, we've got the squad being named on Thursday, so it's crunch time now. We've mentioned some of the names of the old era. We've maybe talked about a few new names. Sarina Wiegman, so she's very close, but maybe there's still a few final decisions to be made.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, she always says this, Sarina Wiegman, before she names squads, but I feel that she's pretty settled in it. I think she's a manager that, she knows her own mind, she makes decisions and she sticks with them. We saw at the Euros that they won in 2022. She became the first manager of any side, men's or women's, to name the same starting 11 from the first group game right through until the final, and like Lindsay and I touched on in commentary, the substitution plan was very similar as well. She finds something when she feels it works. I think the biggest thing out of tonight was seeing Missy Bo-Cairns come on for her debut, and again, if you're looking at those fringe players, Missy Bo-Cairns definitely would be one of those that would be fighting to just try and creep into the squad. And the fact that she came on today, I mean, we talked about it in commentary, didn't we, Lindsay? You said, why would you give her debut 2 days before you name the squad if you're not going to take her to the Euros?
Yeah, that's how my simple mind works, and it's put a spanner in the works for me, that substitute, and it has made me think, because undoubtedly Sarina Wiegman knows her squad when she announced on Thursday. She knows it, we just don't know it. But that for me was a real, I wasn't sure about that, so now I'm thinking, is Missy Bo-Cairns in?
Vicky, Lindsay, thank you so much for this evening. That will be one of the questions then as we ease towards Thursday, when Sarina Wiegman will announce her 23 going to the Euros in Switzerland, where England looked to defend their title, but it was a loss this evening at the hands of the world champion Spain, 2-1 in Barcelona. It means England miss out on top spot in their Nations League group, so they will not progress through to the semi-finals.